is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are the West.
Baseball's expanding long ball trend is at its peak in 2017. A young core of talent and their majestic shots have amplified the excitement fans yearn for. This weekend, the two teams that have hit the most square off in the August heat at Globe Life Park. And this is Rangers baseball presented by AT&T. Dog days of August upon us. The sun has been out. It's a warm one tonight. Opening game of this weekend series as the Houston Astros come calling 71-43. Rangers looking to get something going on this homestand. A big one for them. Hey, the Rangers right in the middle of this wild card mess, just 3.5 games back of the second wild card, but really in need of getting something going. We've seen a couple of teams do that recently. The Astros, meanwhile, continuing to run away with the division, a 13-game lead with about 6 weeks left to play in the regular season. Still much on the line for both teams in this series. As we welcome in, I'm Dave Raymond alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve. So, Tom, just how big a series is this for these two clubs?
It's a big series, but we've been saying that for the last 4 or 5 series, and the story is the same. You can get back in it. It's close enough, but you have to reel off some wins. You can't win one, lose one. Minnesota recently has won 5 in a row. They got right back in it. The Angels have won 7 out of 10. Kansas City's lost 4 in a row. They've dropped out of it. The Rangers have to get a winning streak going. They need to start now at home. Great time to do it. The other thing about the weekend, Pudge Rodriguez will have his number 7 retired, and that's going to make it a special weekend.
Yeah, another special weekend. A lot going on here. And, of course, the Astros, it's a team that has lost 9 of their last 12. They seem to be in a little scuffle here in the dog days as well. The one thing we do know about these two teams, they can hit the long ball.
They can hit the long ball, and the Astros can really hit. They lead Major League Baseball in most offensive categories. And it's interesting to note that they only have 1 in the top 10 in home runs, none in the top 10 in RBIs. It's really a team effort spread out amongst a lot of different hitters. The Rangers, we know, can hit the long ball. They've hit 175 home runs, second only to the Astros with 186. Both teams can hit the ball. Both teams can hit the ball out of the ballpark. We'll see if the pitchers can hold up in this series.
All right, of the many guys who can do it, who should we be focused on?
Well, I think we ought to start with Joey Gallo for sure. Very few players have been much hotter this year than Joey Gallo is right now. He's hit 10 home runs since July 23rd. That's the most in Major League Baseball. The thing I like about him, his last 8 games, he's hit 370 with 7 home runs and 14 knocked in. He's hitting the long ball, but he's also hitting for average. In the last game in New York, he walked 3 times. Rougned Odor, 5 home runs, 10 knocked in the last homestand. 10 home runs in July, led the American League. Cooled off a little bit, though, 2 for his last 23. For the Rangers to get a winning streak going, Rugi needs to be a big part of it. When you start to talk about the Astros, you can talk about a lot of different players, but it starts with Jose Altuve. He's hitting 365, a huge lead in the batting race. The last player, by the way, to hit 365 in a season, that was Joe Mauer in his MVP year of 2009. I think Altuve is probably headed to the conversation for the most valuable player. The thing the Rangers will have to be concerned about is hit 429 on the road this year. No one's done that since 1925.
Yeah, a lot of crooked numbers there, obviously, and a lot of great offensive players in this series. Might need a test for these starting pitchers. Charlie Morton goes for the Astros. Well, Cole Hamels will take the ball for the Rangers. A complete game. His last time out in Minnesota. We'll put him in the spotlight when we come back. By AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, welcome back. Globe Life Park just about ready to get going tonight. Opening game in this 3-game series. It is time for our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight focused on Cole Hamels.
We're going to check on Cole Hamels' last start that he had in Minnesota. Certainly one of his best starts of the year. He remarked that he really hasn't felt comfortable for quite a while with his changeup, but he's done a lot of work with it. And in this particular game, he threw it a lot, he kept it down, and it was a huge part of that complete game victory. Didn't give up an earned run. He really cruised in less than 100 pitches through 9 innings to get that win. That was great to see, Dave.
Yeah, fantastic effort out of Hamels. And when you talk about throwing complete games in today's era, I mean, he's had 16 of them. That's 11th most among active players. But in the bigs this year, 44 complete games, on pace for the lowest amount in Major League history. So a rare feat these days to see a guy go the distance. Let's take a look at the lineup he'll face today from these Houston Astros. 71 wins and 43 losses. George Springer, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve at the top. Marwin Gonzalez has been the Rangers' killer, a guy we'll focus on at the 5th spot on the order. Carlos Beltran, their DH today, bats 6th.
And for Cole Hamels, we've talked about how well he pitched in his last game. These are the pitches that he favors. A fastball around 92 miles an hour half the time. Through his changeup about 20% of the time. Cutter 89% of the time, and then he mixes in a curveball. So he has a well-rounded repertoire. It'll be interesting to see tonight how many changeups he throws after the game he had against Minnesota, where he said the changeup was a huge part of his success.
Well, he is set, and when he has that changeup going, it is and has been in his career one of the best in baseball. And he gets us started with ball 1 to George Springer. Now Springer, a dangerous leadoff hitter for this Astros team. Dangerous in that he can get you in a lot of different ways. Hits this one high in the air. Short right field. Mazzara with the long run, but he gets there. And there is quickly 1 out tonight.
The Rangers defense is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. For the Rangers, it'll be Carlos Gomez, who usually patrols center field. Joey Gallo gets the start in left. Nomar's in right. Up the middle, it's Elvis and Rugi. On the corners, it's Mike Napoli and Adrian Beltre. Behind the plate, getting the start tonight is Robinson Chirinos.
So Hamels now after Bregman. And Alex Bregman batting second today, playing third base. He's been handling a lot of the duties at shortstop lately with Carlos Correia on the disabled list, but at third today for AJ Hinch. He likes this look that he brings defensively. Marwin Gonzalez at shortstop. Bregman at third, probably a little better on the left side for them. Bregman, though, has been an offensive machine lately. And he's ahead here, 2-1. His 12-game hitting streak currently longest in Major League Baseball. He'll bounce this one to the left side. Andrews charges, hustles it over to first, and there are 2 away.
And right off the bat, the result of a changeup. Looked just like a fastball, only it went 10 miles an hour less. Bregman, I'm sure, registered fastball in his mind, swung at it, hit it off the end of the bat, little dinky ground ball to shortstop. And another successful changeup. Good start to this ball game for Cole.
Well, our TXU Energy power player to watch, Jose Altuve. He's not a big player in stature, but boy, when you look at the numbers, 427 batting average away from home this year. Only Harry Heilman back in 1925 with a higher mark in a full season. Better than Hornsby, better than Ty Cobb. My goodness. He has been a marvel to watch since coming up to the big leagues, and you see the 365 average. That's highest in Major League Baseball, and there's some power there. Fouls this one off. It's 2-1.
Another changeup down in the count, 2-0. Changeup is such a weapon, especially when you have the ability to throw it behind in the count, 2-0 or 3-1. Very few hitters, if you throw it down and make a good pitch, are right on your changeup in those counts. Come right back with a cut fastball in on the fist. Nice combination.
Best changeup you ever faced?
Ooh, boy. Jack Morris had a good one when he first came up. I didn't see him a lot, but I remember how good his changeup was. Andy Messersmith had a great changeup. I'll never forget the day I had in my rookie season. I had a chance to be in the lineup against Andy Messersmith. Tim Cullen was on the bench, came up to me and said, "Are you a team player?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Then go tell Ted Williams that you're sick because you've got no chance of getting a hit off Andy Messersmith." and he was right. I didn't. Now that's a teammate right there. It was like 2 minutes before the game.
Oh.
You have no chance of getting hit off this guy.
How old were you?
I was like 22.
Oh, man.
And I wanted to say, you know what? You're probably right, but neither does anyone else on our team. Someone's got to play.
Well, there's a swing and a miss by Altuve, and Hamels puts up a perfect 1-2-3, top of the first. Hamels, and now let's take a look at the Rangers. Time for our Southwest starting lineup. Rangers 54 and 59. Chu starting it off as the DH in this one tonight. And you see Rougned Odor now, he's dropped a little bit in the order to 7th, but he has, for whatever reason, pulled out all the stops against the Astros. 15 home runs in 60 games, and those numbers very good again, specifically this year against the Houston Astros. Charlie Morton gets Chu to foul off, strike one.
We'll look at Charlie's pitches, his arsenal. Fastball 55% of the time, and he's tuning it up this year at 96 miles an hour. A lot of curveballs, a few cutters, and a few splitters. Mostly fastball, curveball. And he's kind of a fascinating guy, Dave. This year he's throwing 96 miles an hour according to Fangraphs statistics. That's the 5th highest velocity average for a starting pitcher in the American League. In his career before this, it was 92 miles an hour. He was more of a ground ball pitcher. Now he's more of a mid-90s strikeout kind of guy.
It's Chu to hit one sharply on the ground to first, where Gurriel feeds Morton at first for the first out at the bottom of the first inning.
For the Astros on defense, we'll get a look at Derek Fisher in left field. George Springer back off the disabled list is in right field. Jake Marisnick outstanding defensive players in center field. Marwin Gonzalez gets the start at shortstop. It's Altuve, the all-star, at second base. Alex Bregman is at third. Correia plays first. And the veteran Brian McCann is behind the plate. Yes, I'm not exactly sure how to explain how a pitcher at age 33 can right out of the blue in 1 year up his velocity by an average of 4 miles per hour like that and become a 96-mile-per-hour flamethrower.
Gets a high chopper by Andrews right to shortstop, where Marwin Gonzalez throws him out. And on 4 pitches, he's recorded the first 2 outs of the game. I'm glad you said that, because you stopped me just short of asking you, how in the world does a guy age 33? Now look, we see guys jump a little velocity at portions of their career, sometimes drop velocity, but when it happens, we're talking about a mile per hour, maybe 1.5, 4. I mean,
and you know, it could be, I don't know the explanation. Could it be mechanical, an adjustment that he made to be more efficient with his delivery? Could it be a dietary thing that's just made him healthier and stronger? Could it be a workout regimen that has increased his strength? I really don't know. Maybe it's a combination of all those things. Maybe he's healthy. You know, he's a guy that's been on the disabled list 9 or 10 times in his career. Maybe it's just a case of he finally came to spring training and felt great and is healthier than he's ever been.
I think you might be onto something with that one. That's the first year of a 2-year deal he signed with the Astros. And there's the breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 0-2 to Mazara. Morton has been a very interesting story. I mean, he is a big guy, 6'5", 220 pounds. So I think going to your bit about maybe mechanics, you can get some pretty good leverage out of a frame built like that. Look at his numbers over a 10-year career. 177 starts. That tells the story of some of the injuries that have shortened his ability. 446 earned run average. It has really been an eye-popping year for Charlie Morton.
Yeah, and I don't mean to demean his career, but a guy that's 20 games under 500 with an ERA in the mid-4s doesn't inspire key pitcher on a pennant-winning postseason team. And that's true if you look at those numbers. However, if you look at the way he throws right now and what he's done this year, he's 9-4 with an ERA under 4, with a mid-90s sinking fastball and then basically an unhittable curveball. It's pretty obvious that he can help a pennant contending team. He's doing it. They've had injuries in their rotation to their key guys, McCullers. Dallas Keuchel has been on the disabled list, so having Charlie Morton step up like this is pretty important.
Well, his 1-2 pitch, and Mazara sends this one high in the air out toward center. Marisnick, who was shaded way over toward left, able to track it down though, and it's a 9-pitch bottom of the first for Charlie Morton. Both starters off to nice starts. starting pitchers as we go to the second inning. Gurriel leading it off. Our Kubota power stats. Cole Hamels as a Ranger against the Houston Astros. A 2-0 record at 220 earned run average. Of course, the team has gone 4-0 in games he has started against their in-state rivals. The Rangers have done very well against whomever they have played when Hamels has started since joining them in a trade 2 summers ago. He's got Gurriel, Marwin Gonzalez, and Carlos Beltran here in this second inning. That one right in there. It's 1-1. I see the numbers for Gurriel. 100 games in, 15 long balls, and a high average. This is already a long at bat for him. He doesn't see many pitches. Usually up there hacking. That's 2-1. In fact, he sees the fewest number of pitches of any player in Major League Baseball on a per at-bat basis. Hacks away at that breaking ball. Slow roller third. And Beltran's throw just in time. Gurriel doesn't move that great down the line. I thought Adrian just enough time to get him. Hey, don't miss Aaron Watson in a post-game concert on Saturday, August 19th, presented by Budweiser. Watch the White Sox take on your Rangers, then enjoy the concert after the game. Just go to texasrangers.com/concerts for game tickets and information on how you can see Aaron Watson from the field. Should be a fun show. Well, 1 out here. And Marwin Gonzalez, switch hitter, pops this one up. Beltran, yeah, I think that he wanted it, and I think he hit Elvis to get him away from it. It's all fun and games until you get slapped by Adrian's glove.
Elvis said, "I know better than that. I know. You don't have to say anything. I know. Shortstop's supposed to take charge, but I know our dynamic." Screams, "I got it," and then slaps him with the glove to make sure he gets out of the way.
Now Beltran, and he takes strike one.
You know, Elvis is doing what he's been taught to do as a shortstop, take charge. The only thing is, he's played with Adrian a long time, and he knows that if that ball is Adrian's ball, get out of his way.
Well, Adrian going to take care of all the business this time around. 1, 2, 3 in the second inning. A 7-pitch second for Hamels. second inning for the Rangers and Gallo and Gomez. Hey, here's a nostalgic giveaway, Adam. It's going to make you feel like a kid in a toy shop. First 15,000 fans to the ballpark next Saturday. That's August 19th. Are going to get an Adrian Beltre starting lineup figurine, courtesy of McDonald's. Rangers, White Sox, 7:05 game. Tickets still available. TexasRangers.com or by calling 972. Rangers, first pitch swinging. Beltre lines this one out to deep right center, and he will turn first with a long single. First base run of the game for either team. Joey Gallo coming to the plate, and before he does that, let's check in with Leslie McCaslin.
Well, Joey Gallo is batting in that 5-hole for the second straight game, which is not surprising since Jeff Bannister has talked about wanting to move him up in the lineup, and also because he had that home run in the last game against the Mets, which leads us to our State Farm winning combination. It wasn't just that home run, but also the 3 walks. Joey admitted it was a good day for him because he's showing growth. He said if he can make the pitcher work and, quote, not swing like a wild animal, then he can control the at-bat and make them pitch in the zone, guys.
That's beautiful. Love it, Leslie. Yeah.
It's so true, and it was obvious in that game. He did do a great job, and you know he not only hit a home run, he got the 3 walks. He should have come out of that game feeling great. That's exactly what he's looking to do. Hit the ones they give him and take the ones they don't.
He still hits him like a wild animal.
He sure does.
1-1 the count. He's talked about that a lot, though, lately. It's obvious what it's done for the game. I mean, he's got a .325 on base average now, and you know, that's right at league average, which is good, especially when you start throwing in 32 home runs. But he's very proud of that number. Very proud of the walks. He's at 48 of those, and he swings and misses here. It's 1-2.
Well, Charlie Morton has an excellent curveball, and as hot as Joey has been, he is probably going to see a number of those curveballs today. This will be one of the better curveballs Joey's seen this year. Matter of fact, batters have missed the curveball when they swing at it this year 47% of the time. And they hit 117 against his curveball.
There's that big swing and a miss. Gallo is the first strikeout victim of the night for Charlie Morton.
Charlie Morton struck out 104 in 95 innings, so he is over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. There's a good look at that curveball. It's a sharp breaking curveball. He throws it pretty hard. And it's a very, very tough pitch to hit. Good part about it is Joey does see a lot of breaking balls, and all hitters are going to have a hard time hitting that curveball. But what Joey has had the knack for doing is hitting the one that hangs. And maybe today, if Charlie Morton throws him enough of them, he will get one that hangs.
Carlos Gomez now, and he fouls off strike 1. Carlos at .252 for the year, 15 home runs. We talk about on base averages at .338 on base percentage for Gomez, so he's done a really good job of finding his way on, although lately that's come maybe all too often for him by hit by pitch. He just keeps getting plunked, and it's irritating him. He was hit 3 times on that road trip. But Carlos also hitting .297 over the last 11 games. He's gotten some pitches to hit. He turns that one foul. It's 1-2. Just underway tonight. Opening game of this 3-game series. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon. An in-state rivalry. A great shot of the big crowd here tonight. Recent years, these games against the Astros have been terrifically meaningful, especially going back to 2015. Swing and a miss by Gomez, and he strikes out for the second out of the inning.
And another curveball. Almost half the time when a batter swings at his curveball, they miss. And we've seen that in this game. Here's a good look at how he grips it, how he throws it, and how it breaks.
I'm sure that this is an impossibility, right? But just as a novice from the outside, you see the numbers on him, right? So those who do make contact with the curveball, they don't have any success with it. No. Most guys just swing right through it. If you can identify curveball right out of the hand, you know, would you just eliminate it maybe as a hitter and just say forget it?
Yeah. In fact, Toby Harrah, who was a Ranger Hall of Famer and a great player for a long time, that's what he used to do. He was very disciplined. He walked 100 times, always had high on base percentage. He could identify the curveball, and until he had 2 strikes, he wouldn't swing at it. He said, I have a hard time with a curveball compared to a fastball. If it's a curveball, I'm taking it. The hard part is you have to really be disciplined to do that. A lot of the swings and misses at his curveball are pitches that aren't strikes. They break a lot and they break out of the strike zone. So yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good strategy. If you're able to identify it and you have the discipline, take it until you get 2 strikes, especially when what you just said. Batters, when they do hit it, are only hitting 117. Now, batters, when they swing at it, are only hitting 117 against his curveball.
2 away here. Beltre started the inning with a base hit. And Odor takes one right to the outside corner. It's 1-2.
The thing is, in the course of a game, I don't care who it is, the greatest curveball, Bert Blyleven, whoever it might be that ever lived, in the course of a game, they throw a lot of them, and they're going to hang some. They don't throw a perfect one every time. The key, it's like a knuckleball that doesn't knuckle. When you do get one, that's the one you have to hit. You can't foul it off because you're not going to see a lot of them, but you have to take advantage of it when you do get one. Easier said than done.
You hear the great hitters talking about picking up slider, picking up curveball out of a pitcher's hand. I mean, it fascinates me.
I think that's one thing that determines a great hitter from a good hitter and a good hitter from a mediocre hitter, is their ability to identify the pitch quicker than the average hitters.
2 away here, and a 2-2 count to Odor. We mentioned earlier, Odor has put up good numbers against the Astros. Stays alive here. And I know, you know, Astros fans, when they watch, they probably hold their breath as much when Odor's up as anyone. He's hit 4 home runs this year in the 7 games we've played so far. I saw the number earlier, 15 home runs in 60 career games against the Astros. So for whatever reason, he's been that guy. Beltre waiting over there at first. Morton has slowed down considerably here. He and McCann are having a little difficulty agreeing. Interesting. Both McCann and Morton, it looked like looking into the dugout for help. And there's a strike 3 called on Odor. So the inning is done. Morton strikes out the side. We go to the 3rd inning. for Ivan Rodriguez here on display this very special weekend. Tonight, Papa John's and AT&T give us our 7 days of 7. Let's go back in the way back to 1994, late July. Kenny Rogers on the mound. Yeah, you remember it. The perfect game for Kenny Rogers. Pudge managed it beautifully from behind the plate. A 99 pitch effort, 8 strikeouts. And Kenny Rogers had one of the great moments in Pudge's career.
That was a fun night at the ballpark. No doubt about it. Rusty Greer made a beautiful diving catch to help save it.
Retiring his number tomorrow. Now, you had a big luncheon today, right?
Yeah, for the people that came to that luncheon, they had a treat because Eric Nadel interviewed Pudge for almost a half an hour, and Pudge was just great.
Roller.
He was funny. His timing on his jokes was perfect. He was emotional. It was just a great interview. And then Matt Hicks introduced Jeff Idelson, the president of the Hall of Fame, along with Robbie Alomar and Fergie Jenkins. And Matt did a tremendous job with that interview. That was really fun to watch. It was one of the best luncheons I've been to. There's Matt. So I know the people that went to that luncheon, a lot of them go to all those kinds of luncheons, and I would be surprised if the people that do see a lot of them, there's Eric, if they weren't saying that that was one of the best luncheons they've ever been to. Really good.
McCann with the ground out now. Marisnick. Marisnick batting 8th.
Matt Hicks asked Robbie Alomar, Robbie, you were one of the best base stealers over the last 20 or 25 years as far as the amount of bases you stole and your percentage. How many times did Pudge gun you down? And Robbie kind of smiled and said, you know, I don't think he ever threw me out. And Pudge said, the only reason he stole off me is because he left before the pitcher threw the ball.
Those guys would know too.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, Pudge said the same thing.
No.
He said, I never threw him out. They're good friends from Puerto Rico, so I guess they would have kept track of that kind of thing. Robbie wouldn't venture a guess as to how many times he stole, but they both knew that Pudge was never able to throw him out.
Hamels 1-2 pitch.
Whoa, wow, that was close.
All right, no, we'll call that one high, and it's 2-2. Trying again, and a swing and a foul tip. So Marisnick keeps the at bat going. Boy, barely got a piece of that one.
It was interesting discussion that Matt had with Fergie Jenkins. And, you know, when you talk about this, it sounds like you might be downgrading today's pitcher. And that's not fair because it's such a different era. It's not even fair to compare pitchers. But back then, Fergie pitched on nine-man staffs, 4-man rotation. And with the Cubs one year had 30 complete games. With the Rangers, he won 25 games and had 27 complete games. It was just a different era. That's what the pitchers were expected to do. And when Matt said to him, how were you able to do that? He said, I just came to the ballpark and I knew the manager, when he gave me the ball, was counting on me going 9 innings. And so I tried to do that. That looked like a high cut fastball that might not have come down as far into the strike zone as Marisnick thought it was going to come. Ended up staying up and we couldn't make any contact with it.
Second strikeout tonight for Cole Hamels, and now here is Derek Fisher.
The other thing to be fair is I think if Fergie Jenkins grew up today, he would be in a 5-man rotation shooting for 200 innings. And if Cole Hamels grew up 40 or 50 years ago, he would have grown up in a 4-man rotation throwing 270 innings. It's just the era that you grow up in. The great pitchers then would be great pitchers now. But if you were a great pitcher then and you grew up today, you're not going to throw 325 innings. Just not the way pitchers are groomed today. It's different.
You wouldn't find a manager who would let you.
No, you couldn't do it even if you wanted to.
A little slow roller along the first base line, but that one is foul. Fisher, good job navigating his way around it. 1-2 the count.
And I think it's probably was easier to throw a complete game back then than it is now, especially before the DH. I don't think the lineups were as strong and as deep as they are now. There weren't as many guys in the lineup that could hit a home run. And so as a pitcher, you could say to yourself, okay, I just have to throw a strike right here. I don't want to walk him. And the worst thing might be a double in the gap. Now you look at the Astros team, and it's every single guy in the lineup. If you throw a strike for the sake of throwing a strike, you could be giving up a run on a home run. So I think you have to pitch more carefully now. It's more effort to get hitters out because there's more of them in the lineup. And so to be fair, looking at it objectively, I think it was probably easier to throw a complete game back then than it is now, even if the circumstances on how you were prepared to pitch were the same.
Yeah, just the way the game is played too, and you just think of bunting as an example. No one gives up an out with a bunt anymore. No one.
No.
That used to happen with a certain amount of routine.
Oh yeah, a lot of teams played for one run. Gene Maucher, famous manager, notorious for that. His goal was to score first, so if he got a man on in the first inning, they were bunting him over. But the analytics today show that that's probably not the best way to do it, especially when you've got so many guys in the lineup who can hit a home run. Don't give up an out. He might swing and hit a home run.
Hamels being made to work just a little bit here by Derek Fisher. 2 out, nobody on in the third. Well, you and I have had this conversation before. You had no idea how good an on-base guy you were when you played.
No. I think I was probably similar to a lot of players. You knew that a walk was good because you got on base, but it wasn't something that you felt like you accomplished anything. It was like a break-even thing. Okay, I walked. That's no at bat. But as far as on-base percentage or how many walks, I don't think it was until I noticed how much Mike Hargrove and Toby Harrah were walking that I even noticed what on-base percentage was. But really, the only thing that mattered back then, in the eyes of a player anyway, was what your batting average was.
Well, that was quite an at-bat for Derek Fisher. And so many close pitches there. 8-pitch walk. And he is the first base runner of the night for the Astros. We turn the lineup over to George Springer. Fisher on, and here is Springer. You could see Jeff Bannister from the dugout. That shot of him there. He wasn't too pleased with Bill Welke's strike zone during that at bat. But Fisher, to his credit, I mean, he fought off a couple of good pitches to earn the additional looks. And breaking ball fouled off by Springer. So Hamels, his third inning extended now, and the danger of Springer up there after the walk to Fisher. So you walk the 9th place hitter. And now the leadoff man comes up, a leadoff man with 27 home runs.
Yeah, when you watch him swing, it does not look like a leadoff hitter.
0-2 the count. Springer recently back off the disabled list, missed 13 games. Came back off the disabled list Wednesday before their game in Chicago. The Astros were swept by the White Sox in Chicago. A little bit of a surprise there. In fact, yesterday it looked like they had that ball game won before allowing the White Sox to tie in the bottom of the 9th and then lost in the bottom of the 11th.
Well, the White Sox are only 2 games ahead of the Phillies for the worst record in baseball. So that just goes to show you, over 162 games in any series, anything can happen. Anybody can beat anybody.
Hey, look at those numbers. Losing record since the All-Star break. They're 3-9 in their last 12 games. And it's a team that obviously best record in the American League, got off to the incredible start, was winning games at a nearly unprecedented pace, and then did not make any moves at the trade deadline. Now they've had a lot of injury to their lineup lately, earlier in the year to their starting rotation, but they did not see fit to do anything big to help, let's say, that rotation or the bullpen. The bullpen's been chewed up a little bit. And it was pretty noticeable the effect it had on the team. They were a little upset. A lot of them have spoken out publicly, both to the local media and some of them to the national media. And they've gone on a little bit of a slide. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Springer strikes out, third punch out of the night for Cole Hamels. We've played 2.5 so far tonight. No score as Hamels on top of his stuff tonight. 3 Ks through 3 innings. Teams have had a base runner so far, but nobody able to get to second base. Napoli will start things off in the third. And we invite you to download MLB.com at bat today. Get Rangers home screen icons as well as game day, highlights, radio broadcast, statcast news, well, and a whole lot more. MLB.com at bat. Napoli takes ball 1 from Charlie Morton, who struck out the side in the second inning. Napoli with that even 200 batting average now. Today batting 8th. We talk about on base percentage. That's been a problem this year for Napoli as well. A .282 on base average. A guy who has been so adept in his career at working counts, getting on, hitting for power. It has been a struggle this year. Napoli did not play in Wednesday's game in New York. The team had yesterday off, and now he takes ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk. And the third inning off to a good start for the Rangers. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson.
Batting ninth, the catcher, number 61, Robinson Chirinos.
Boy, if you're a middle of the order guy hitting in that lineup and you're having a great year, you're going to put up some numbers. It's a great park to hit in, obviously. They've got several guys having big years, hitting way over 300. And Nolan Arenado is just picking them up, driving them in. DJ LeMahieu's won a batting championship. He's hitting about 320. They got a lot of good hitters in that lineup. Carlos Gonzalez is having a terrible year in his free agent year.
And they're still, what, like 16 games over 500, and yet 16 games out in their own division.
Well, the Astros are somewhere around 30 games over 500. They'd be 9 games out of first place in that division. Charlie Blackmon's having a huge year.
It's a pretty good Rockies team, and right now in a position where they would get the first wild card in the National League. A lineup that can put a hurting on an opposing staff. Charlie Morton walked Napoli. And now the 1-1 to Chirinos. He fires that one in there 95 miles per hour, but misses. It's 2-1. Now Chirinos started 8 of the last 12 games since missing those 4 straight with that sprained left ankle. He was in a collision at the plate in the game at Tampa Bay. That was toward the end of July, and had to sit for a few days, but back in there now. Has become the mostly everyday guy. Comes off a nice road trip and rolls this one right up the middle. That's a base hit. Well, Napoli will stop at second. Robinson Chirinos with a second Rangers hit, and the first 2 men on in this 3rd inning.
Well, Charlie Morton gets his share of strikeouts. He also has good movement on his fastball. It sinks. They get a lot of ground balls. Got one there, but Robinson found a hole with it.
So now back to the top of the order, and Shin-Soo Choo. A scoreless game, but 2 men on. Choo grounded out to first base back in the 1st inning. They do shift with Choo up there, and he's bunting. It fouls it off. And see up the middle, Gonzalez, the shortstop, very near to the bag. Altuve, the second baseman, swung way over. Not a lot left on the left side of the diamond. Choo, good back control guy. Showing bunt again, and bunts this one right back to the mound. And Morton bobbles it, and everybody is safe. Boy, that looked like a tailor-made double play on the bunt, because it went too hard baard to Morton, but he whiffed it.
It was not a good bunt. Choo made solid contact on it and hit a rope. Bunted a rope. It was bunted so hard. Charlie Morton, in his haste to make a play, is eyeing the double play at second base. He just forgot to catch the ball. He was already in position to turn and throw towards second base. Watch him right here. He's wanting to throw to second, but he forgot to catch the ball. Well, nice break for the Rangers right there.
They scored a sacrifice and an error on Morton.
That's giving the hitter the benefit of the doubt on the bunt, I guess. That's okay.
The bases are loaded for Elvis Andrus. He's gotten himself in a little bit of a mess here. Rangers trying to break through for the first run of the game, and Andrus sends this one over to the right side, down the line, but slicing into the seats.
The Rangers had an unusual game Wednesday in New York against the Mets. It was a nice win, 5-1. Well-pitched game by Martin Perez. But in that game, they struck out 15 times and left 15 men on base. That's not a common occurrence. Win 5-1 and do that. The Rangers try to clear the bases here and keep from leaving the men on base like they did in that win. It's one of those games, Dave, it felt like it was about 15-1 because of how many times the Rangers had base runners. And I guess it could have been if they brought a lot of them in, but they stranded 15 base runners that day.
And every time you looked up, they had the bases loaded, or second and third, 1 out, something like that. And get the 5 runs. Here's a bouncing ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Napoli is in. Rangers go station to station, take the 1 run. They draw first blood. You see Elvis Andrus looking across the diamond at Robinson Chirinos saying, "Gotta score, man."
Well, I think he could have scored, but I think Tony Beasley was just saying, we've got good hitters coming up, and I don't want to take any chances. I don't have a fast runner here. But the ball wasn't hit that hard. It just found the hole. And even though Marisnik has a nice arm, Robinson had a big jump, and I don't think Marisnik would have even thrown it. Elvis going, come on, let's go. It's an RBI waiting to happen right there.
Well, he picks up the 1 RBI. Gives him now 60 for the season. Chirinos third, Chu second, Andrus at first. Still nobody out in the inning, and Nomar Mazara stands in.
The Rangers have hit 2 ground balls up the middle. Not exceptionally hard hit balls, but they found a hole with both of them. Lane got the huge break on the bunt. And you hope to take advantage of that. Turn it into a huge inning with the middle of the order coming up.
Nomar flied out to center field his first time up. 0 for 1, but it's not that long ago, about 2 weeks ago, when he ended what was a rough 0 for 26. And since that point, a 12-game stretch, he's been on a great run. 15 of 48, a .313 batting average. So swinging a real good bat. Had 3 hits on Wednesday, and hits this one into center field. Bat drops, base hit, bobbled by Marisnik. Again, the Rangers will settle for the 1 run. Mazara drives Chirinos to the plate. It's 2-0.
That line drive had some exit velocity on it. That ball was hit right on the barrel of the bat and roped into center field. Marisnik almost got handcuffed by it and had to make a last-minute effort, last-second effort to make sure he kept the ball in front of him. Just a rope that I'm sure went a little bit farther than Marisnik thought it was going to go. But he kept it in front of him. The Rangers pick up a run. Nice job by Marisnik. He's going to use his body any way he could to keep that ball from going by him.
Well, he was caught in no man's land there for a moment. If that one skips past him, then it's all kinds of mayhem. Really good defensive outfield, though. The Astros, they've got great speed at every spot. Terrifically talented outfielders. And Marisnik, great job of saving what could have been extra runs there. Now the bases are loaded, 2 runs in for Adrian Beltre. And he takes one for a strike. Beltre and Morton squaring off against one another for the first time tonight, and Beltre got him for a base hit in the second inning. He'll back away now. Runners everywhere, nobody out. And again, some indecision. So everybody resets. Now we'll do it. Ooh, and a strike called. Beltre thought that a little in. 0-2 the count. You see that the hit counter. Adrian, his next hit ties him 28th all time with Wade Boggs. Morton's 0-2. Adrian was 2 for 5 Wednesday in New York. Beltre had a pretty nice road trip, a couple of home runs. Sits safely now in 6 straight games. He was base hit earlier tonight. The 0-2. The bouncer at third base, and that one is foul. Wow. That one almost got a piece of Chu down there at third base. Able to get out of the way. Chu at third. Andrews, the man at second base, and Mazzara over at first. Beltre and Tim Welke sharing a moment. Oh, 2 pitch. Ooh, that one fouled off. That hurts. I'll try to get a moment to walk that off. He normally doesn't need a whole lot, though.
You see the sinking action on that fastball. It's going to lead to that kind of contact frequently. The way the ball goes down, hitters hit the top of the baseball frequently.
Already a 20-pitch inning for Charlie Morton. He hasn't retired a batter yet. And another foul ball, and Beltre stays alive. Backswing might have caught a piece of McCann. Well, the last homestand, Adrian Beltre set up the great dramatics with his 3,000th career hit. Yeah, it was on Sunday, that last homestand. Just a terrific moment here for Adrian and for this franchise, this fan base. Has since added 9 more hits. His 10th, should have come here, would score a run at least. A 2 pitch, and he swings and misses. And there's the first out of the inning for Charlie Morton.
Well, Charlie Morton made a great pitch. Big curveball and got it.
Well, bases loaded brings up Joey Gallo. Hey, he was swinging it pretty well when we were in New York.
That wasn't even that great a pitch to hit. It was down and away. That was pretty much the same thing. One was a line drive, and this one was straight up in the air. Came down in the stands.
And there's that big swing. Gallo struck out in the 2nd inning. Got currently a career best 8-game hitting streak going. And the home run numbers right now are pretty crazy. He leads all of Major League Baseball with 7 home runs here in August. 7 homers in his last 8 games. And he watches that one low. An appeal? No, he did not go around, according to Trip Gibson.
Almost every pitch that Morton has thrown to Joey Gallo has been a curveball, one right after the other, and that's what you have to do with the ones that aren't strikes, is lay off it. Don't swing at the bad ones, and hope you get one that stays up.
And 1-1 the count. This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Morton. A swing and a miss at that curveball. Look at each month so far this year and who has led baseball. Gallo right now trying to take the title in August. Of course, we're not even halfway through August, and he's already sitting on 7 home runs. And one fastball he has seen and just barely out of the zone, but there it is at 96.
Yeah, it's hard to be ready for that after virtually every pitch has been a slower curveball, to be able to pull the trigger on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Fortunately, it wasn't called a strike. A little bit out of the strike zone, right at the top, near the strike zone.
Ball, and he swings and misses. Morton with his 5th strikeout. Boy, he's got a couple of big ones here in the 3rd.
Yeah, every one of the strikeouts is coming on a curveball. You see it spin, and you'll see it go down right at the end, which brings us back to the fact that batters have missed when they swing at his curveball 47% of the time. We've seen that tonight. It's not that all of them are out of the strike zone and the Rangers are swinging at a lot of terrible pitches. A lot of these curveballs are strikes. They're just very difficult to hit.
He's allowed 2 runs in the inning. But he's trying to pitch his way out of a really ugly jam. The first 5 Rangers all reached. 3 of them are still out there for Carlos Gomez, who struck out in the 2nd inning. There's a walk, a single, then an error on it. Apparently was a sacrifice bunt. And then RBI singles by Andrus and Mazara. 1-1 the count now on Gomez. Gomez does have good numbers against Charlie Morton. He's ready to gear it up. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever a spot, you got a guy huffing and puffing out there on a hot night, 96 degrees at game time, and this will be his 30th pitch of the inning, and they've been stressful innings or stressful pitches from the beginning of this inning. One small mistake, Gomez could launch it. A 1-1. Fouls it back. Of course, for Gomez, there has typically been a little extra on the line in these games for him. Had a rough go with the Houston Astros. Last year, the Rangers swooped in and signed him as a minor league free agent. Really, about a week from now, it'll be 1 year. Astros released him on August 18th last summer, and then he went nuts with the Rangers. The 1-2, and he hits his back up the middle. That's a base hit. Chews in. Here comes Andrus. He'll score. A 2-run single by Carlos Gomez. And the Rangers finally do get that big hit. It's 4-0.
Yeah, those are the kind of hits that are difference makers. The Rangers look like they're on the verge of a big inning. Charlie Morton makes some big pitches. Looks like he might get out of it with only 2 runs. Carlos is behind in the count and then got one that stayed up. And that's what we were talking about. He throws a lot of great curveballs. That one looked like a fastball. It was up in the strike zone. Carlos ripped that thing up in the middle. Got one that stayed up. Wasn't exactly where Charlie Morton wanted to throw it. And he just ripped it up the middle. Strong throw home, but no chance to get Elvis, who scored from second. And the Rangers do turn it into a big inning. It's going Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, that is a huge 2-out hit for Gomez. Now the 9th hitter of the inning, Rougned Odor. 4-0 the score. And Odor takes one high for ball 1.
He's taking advantage of your opportunities. Leadoff walk, a couple of ground balls that found holes, an error by the pitcher, and a couple of ropes, one by Nomar and one by Carlos.
Zara at second, Gomez at first, and Odor takes it high again. 2-0. With that pitch, we might see some bodies begin to stir out on that Astros bullpen. This has become a lengthy one for Charlie Morton. There's a 2-0. Borderline strike call. 2-1 to Odor.
Astros have had some injuries out there in the bullpen. Felice, Harris, Sip, all on the disabled list. Had injuries in the rotation. McCullers is on the DL. Keuchel's off the DL, but not throwing well right now. So what looked like a juggernaut a month ago has come back down to earth and shown a little bit of some signs of vulnerability over the last week or 10 days.
They worked that bullpen pretty heavily in the early months of this season, and some of that has come back to rear its head just a touch.
Also had Carlos Correia on the disabled list for quite a while. Springer just got off the disabled list.
Curveball. That's a full count now on Odor. Morton in danger of reloading the bases for that man, Tampa, who started this inning with a walk. Four runs across already. The 3-2. Runners go and a swing and a miss. Odor strikes out swinging. It ends the inning. The second inning in a row that Morton has struck out the side, but Carlos Gomez delivered the 2-out, 2-run single, and the Rangers with the early lead. Now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Joey Votto on a 15-game hitting streak, nearly hitting 500. Getting on at a 625 clip. Giancarlo Stanton, 6 bombs in his last 7 games, 18 home runs in the last 30 games. Every time you think you've got the hottest guy in baseball on your team, Giancarlo Stanton goes off. And then the Cardinals go-ahead grand slams in back-to-back games. First time in team history. And the Cardinals have a pretty good team history.
Joey Votto's had some years lately that were good years, but not Joey Votto years. He's having a big-time Joey Votto year this year. He's going to hit well over 300. Had a chance to hit 40 home runs, knocking 120 runs. So he's putting up big numbers.
Hamels goes back to work here with the 4th inning. Pumps one in there to Bregman. And count 1-1. Hamels a big guy. 6'4", 205 pounds. Might be feeling a little bit taller right now with the 4 runs of support and a smash down to third. Diving stop Beltre. Great throw to first, and he gets Bregman. And Adrian Beltre has done it again.
Well, so far in this game, we've seen Adrian line a 95-mile-an-hour fastball into the gap for a base hit. And then on defense, still quick reactions, a dive, and a nice play. Take a base hit away from Alex Bregman. How quickly he got up. Didn't look like a 39-year-old guy getting up off the ground to make that throw.
You're not supposed to be able to do that at 39 years old, 38 years old, are you?
No. Most people can't.
Ground ball. This one off of Hamels and into foul territory. And that's a base hit for Jose Altuve. Well, the next question is, and the biggest question is Hamels okay? It was the first hit of the game for the Astros. And an unfortunate one for Cole Hamels.
He's got a little bit of a smile, so maybe it's just a matter of letting the pain go away. Hopefully that's the case. Altuve hit the ball hard, headed for the middle, and then got a little bit of luck with the deflection, not going to anyone who could make a play. On the side of the knee.
Altuve, he creates ways to get hits. It seems like. Let's take another look.
Well, Cole threw the ball where he wanted to, but Altuve can get the bat on almost anything. Let's see if that ball was headed to the middle. No, I think Ruby probably would have been in a position to make that play. Nothing Cole could do, though. Would much have preferred that to go right by him and not hit him.
Well, they're giving him time to get it sorted out. Kevin Harmon, the head athletic trainer out there. Jeff Bannister, all the infield. Andrews mimicking the fall. He did kind of go down like a tree. I think the guys, that's what all the smiling was about, was the way he went down. I mean, he just took it off the knee and then toppled right over. Yep. There you go, Andrews. Andrews ring out. A sniper got him. The ribbing will only get worse a little later on.
Yeah, when they can, after hopefully Cole pitches a great game, the Rangers win, and then watch that replay in the clubhouse after the game.
So here is Gurriel, and a good breaking ball in there for strike one. So the Eski Gurriel, the first baseman, a Cuban immigrant, and one of the great Cuban players in recent years. And he has had another really good season. 1-1 the count. Gurriel last year played in 36 games with the Astros, got 130 at bats. So technically this is his rookie season. 1-1 and a bouncer, third base side foul. He is a 32-year-old rookie. We joke a lot about the Rangers seem to have cornered the market on 30-plus-year-old rookies. Austin Bibbins Dirks this year. Last year it was Matt Bush and Tony Barnett. The Astros have a pretty good one of their own in Gurriel.
Yeah, Gurriel's a rookie. Ichiro was a rookie at one time, but both of them came from pretty high caliber baseball teams in good leagues. Especially Ichiro came from Japan. Gurriel came from Cuba. So they're in the running for rookie awards, but hard to look at these guys and say you're looking at a rookie.
Full count now.
Meaning Ichiro and Gurriel. Austin Bibbins Dirks, a little bit different story. He was playing a lot of baseball before he got here as a rookie, but it was mostly in the minor leagues.
Payoff from Hamels, and that one a ground ball first base. Napoli goes to second for one, and that's all they'll get. So a 3-6 force out at second base, and the inning continues.
Oh, so right off the end of the bat, had some spin on it. Nice play by Knapp. That was getting out of the way. Luckily, he didn't come down on top of Altuve. Clear path to throw it, but no chance to get a double play on the slowly hit ball.
So with that now, Marwin Gonzalez will get a shot with a man on. Astros haven't gotten a man to second base yet against Hamels. Cole's allowed just the one hit, an infield hit that knocked him over, and a walk. So he has stifled one of the most powerful and potent offenses, at least so far tonight. He works here in the fourth inning. Breaking ball, and that one is in there. 1-1.
We're talking about the Astros leading the major leagues in home runs, Hits, doubles, average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, you name it. And it's Marwin Gonzalez that leads the team, tied with Correia in RBIs with 67. Probably not the guy you would have picked at the beginning of the year. But they only have one batter in the top 10 in home runs. They don't have anybody in the top 10 in RBIs for a team that leads the major leagues in runs, which just tells you that they spread it out throughout their lineup. It's not top heavy, dependent on one or two guys. 13 Astros have double-digit home runs, and 7 Astros have more than 55 runs batted in, 4 over 60. Well, it's really a team effort, which shows how hard they are to pitch to. So many good hitters in the whole lineup and on the bench.
What a beautiful scene here tonight. Warm one, but a beautiful night nonetheless. Of course, always a little more beautiful when the Rangers are leading, as they are right now, 4-0. Two balls, 2 strikes. And this one up into the bat, foul.
Another good changeup. Talked about Cole and the nice game he had in Minnesota, using the changeup very effectively and often. I think this is kind of a carryover today. He's had the same thing going for him today.
So far, it's worked out nicely. It helps that his offense has given him a little support. Two. Another foul ball. Marwin Gonzalez, as you mentioned, Tom, has been awfully good for this team. A guy who has played some 6 or 7 different positions. If you look at what Hamels has done since the beginning of July, those are some pretty impressive numbers. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat to Gonzalez. Initially signed by the Cubs as a 16-year-old out of Venezuela. Taken by Boston to the Rule 5, traded to the Astros.
Look at that ball. That's out of the stadium. That was way. I don't think Ian Kinsler ever pulled one that foul. Just recheck. They have 11 batters who have 20 home run, double-digit home runs, not 13, which is still a strong number, and kind of speaks to the fact that they have a solid team with a lot of guys contributing, not just 2 or 3 in the middle of the lineup. This is a complete lineup.
Bouncer left side, and that one is through for Gonzalez. So they have 2 men on now in this 4th inning as Gurriel stops at second base. A competitive at bat by Marwin Gonzalez that gets Carlos Beltran to the plate.
You see the curveball breaks, but stays up a little bit above the knees, around the belt. And you get a pretty good look at it, take a pretty good swing, and you end up with a base hit. What a year for Gonzalez. 4th in the league in hitting, 20 home runs, knocked in 67. If you take his average year, it's probably something around 250, 12 home runs, and 45 knocked in coming into this year. Now he's turned into one of the more productive hitters in the league.
Well, he keeps the inning going now for Beltran, who is 0 for 1.
The other thing about Gonzalez, he's played 6 different positions. That's a valuable guy that can produce offensively like that and has the versatility to play so many places on the field.
And when he came up with them, and again, he was traded after being drafted in the Rule 5 by Boston, traded to the Astros. So the Astros had the pressure, the obligation to keep him on their 25-man roster that entire 2012 season. And he didn't do a whole lot, and there was no sense necessarily that You know, he was going to be some superstar. Hit .234 that year, played in 80 games. Then even the next year got a little more playing time, hit .221. But boy, I'll tell you what, the last 3 seasons he has taken off, and really this year just an explosion for Marwin Gonzalez. Swing and a miss by Beltran, and he strikes out to win whatever rally the Astros thought they had going in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th, Rangers with a 4-0 lead.
Energy and 811 came to the ballpark in style tonight on the Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express. So glad that they could join us for a great game out here. I'm with Jeff Martinez now, Vice President of Operations for Atmos Energy. And Jeff, tell us a little bit about 811 and why you guys are out here at the ballpark tonight.
Thanks, Leslie. It's great to be here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. We're here to promote calling 811 before you dig to avoid accidental damage to underground utilities like your natural gas service line. Calling 811 before you dig notifies utilities to come out and locate their lines so you know exactly where they are before you start to dig. It's simple, it's easy, and best of all, calling 811 is absolutely free. So not only is it the smart thing to do, but most importantly, it's the safe thing to do. So we want to thank all these great Rangers fans out here for calling 811 before they dig.
We appreciate it. Very easy to do as well, Jeff. You and your entire group out here have a great time at the game. All right, thanks. Back to you.
All right. Nicely done. Great to have them out here tonight, and so far they are enjoying a great game. 1-1 to Napoli. Fouled off for a strike. Mike Napoli walked in the 3rd inning. Started what would ultimately be a 4-run rally. The first 5 Rangers reached, and the first 4 of them scored. Right now is the action in this game. Meanwhile, Morton, despite a very difficult 3rd inning, struck out the side as he did in the 2nd. 6 strikeouts so far tonight for him. You mentioned it earlier, Tom. I mean, a guy with good velocity is striking out a lot of guys this year, nearly 10 per 9 innings pitched. Napoli hits one sharply to 3rd, but right to Alex Bregman. And the line's out for the first out of the inning. Hey, don't miss the Star Wars post-game fireworks show Friday, September 1st. For the Rangers and Angels game. It's a post-game fireworks show set to the music of Star Wars. And your tickets are available at TexasRangers.com.
Yeah, you're talking about Morton's strikeouts. I might be wrong, but I think all 6 of them have come on a curveball. And it'd be interesting to know if that's the trend for his whole season. Do most of his strikeouts come with his curveball? I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, since batters swing and miss at it half the time.
This one
a slider right there. Don't see him throw that many sliders.
Chirinos singled and scored in the 3rd inning. It is 2-0. It's just interesting. A guy who has increased the velocity as much as he has still has that incredible curveball, and he, for all the strikeout improvement in Charlie Morton's game, he's still getting a lot of ground balls. He always has. One of the best at it. He's still getting like 52% ground balls. This one hit in the air, however, out to right field. Springer tucks it away, and they're 2 out.
Designated hitter Shin-Soo
Goes back to the top now for Shin-Soo Choo. Choo laid down what was scored a sacrifice last inning, and he swings and misses here. That might have been one of the primary keys to that inning for the Rangers. The bunt that was misplayed by Morton, who now delivers his 70th pitch of the night. And that's 1-1. Rangers were able to make good use of that break, and in fact, 2 of the 4 runs they scored last inning were unearned runs as a result of that error. I saw Choo earlier this afternoon, and I asked him about his wardrobe today because that became an issue on the last road trip. Pants up or the legs of the pants down? Takes a strike. It's 2-2. He had an 0 for 5 in Minnesota, and the next day was just a mess about that. So that's it. No more high socks. I'm pulling the pants down low, and he had a nice game. So he went to New York and he went with the high socks again. Went 0 for. So on our game Wednesday, he said, "Golly, I'm going back down to the low pants again."
There's only one solution.
Yeah,
I'm listening to your story. You got to have one up and one down.
That might be the key.
It's the only thing you can do. That way you've got it covered no matter what.
That would show me something if he would do that. I'll have to try and talk him into that.
That's a look we haven't seen yet. I'd like to see it, though.
He walked 3 times, a couple of hits. The pants down. So I said, so today, that's it. It's pants down at this point. 3-2. And he lashes that one down the line. Great play by Gurriel. And he puts out Choo to win a 1-2-3 inning. But boy, what a sparkling defensive play by Yulieski Gurriel.
Summary. We're going to take a look at some of the pitches Cole has featured tonight. First one is a good changeup that Alex Bregman hit right off the end of the bat for a simple ground ball to shortstop. And Altuve was fooled on a cut fastball. Couldn't make contact with it. And then a good changeup down and away. That's pretty much as well as he can throw his changeup, got George Springer to swing way out in front of him. Well, Hamels 4 strikeouts, only 3 base runners. And Carlos Gomez has a 2-out, 2-run single. Big hit for the Rangers in their 4-run 3rd inning.
Well, here we go in the 5th. Bottom of the order coming for the Astros. McCann, Marisnick, and Derek Fisher. Hamels has allowed the 2 hits, the walk. And pumps that one in there. 1-1 to McCann, who grounded out in the 3rd inning. He takes another strike. McCann, despite being a left-handed hitter, has done a really admirable job against left-handed pitching. If you take all the left-handed hitters, he is among the best against lefties. 3rd in home runs, 7th in RBIs off left-handed pitchers. His OPS, on base plus slugging, against lefties this year over 800, 812. 2-2 pitch, hits this ball on the ground, second base. Odor with a little bobble, but plenty of time to throw out McCann, and there's one away. Hey, this Tuesday, Major League Baseball marches on as Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers take on the Lone Star Grid of the Texas Rangers and Adrian Beltre. Coverage beginning Tuesday at 6 o'clock Central right here on, well, not right here, but actually on Fox Sports 1. Or on the Fox Sports Go app. Now Jake Marisnick. He bunts it back to the mound. Hamels. Oh, that throw to first dug out nicely by Napoli, and there are 2 out. That's 9 ground ball outs now for Cole Hamels.
Outfielder Derek Fisher.
Cole doing a good job of making his pitches. Marisnick trying to bunt it by him, hoping that Cole might fall off the mound toward the 3rd base side. He'd be able to sneak one by him. Just didn't get it hard enough or enough to the right. Cole was able to recover and make the play pretty easily.
Those will be challenging plays for those first basemen. Short throws, not a lot of time to react. Down in the dirt. There's Fisher, bouncer, first base. Napoli has it. This time he'll feed Hamels just in time. Hamels barely wins the foot race with Fisher. And it ends a 1-2-3 inning. Although A.J. Hinch is looking back. Let's see if this one is worth a challenge.
Well, Fisher thought he was safe. Ooh. And he is. And hopefully Cole didn't do anything as he tried to cover first base.
Well, this should be a very short review. Challenge made by the Astros. That Fisher was safe, which our replay show he most certainly was. And then again, to your point, the next question is Hamels okay? Yeah, boy, that was a short one. Safe indeed. So Fisher is on. And it gets George Springer to the plate.
Fisher gets down the line pretty well. Looks like he's got a, we haven't seen him very much. It looks like he's got a pretty good eye at the plate. Took a walk the first time up and a long at bat. Showed some speed beating that ball out.
So now Springer. Springer, who had that strained left quad and missed 13 days on the disabled list until very recently, coming off the DL, is flat out and struck out so far tonight. One of the real keys to this Astros team, the way he gets things started at the top of the order. And it's 2-0. Astros are expecting Carlos Correia, who has the torn ligament in his left thumb, to start swinging the bat again soon. But Springer and Correia haven't played together in a game since July 17th. And those are two guys they really need to have in there. Now, obviously, we've talked about it a lot tonight, whether it's Bregman, Altuve, Gurriel, Marwin Gonzalez. They have plenty of weapons. But Springer and Correia, the two young superstars, first-round draft picks for them, are key anchors to their offense. And Hamels misses on 4 wide ones to Springer. That's a 2-out walk.
Yeah, as the Astros come down the stretch and get ready for postseason, they should have their lineup back, and their lineup is fine. Question is going to be their pitching, whether they have enough pitching, and how healthy it's going to be. Whether Keuchel will be healthy as he heads to the postseason, Lance McCullers. And when you go to the postseason, it's tough to win a postseason series if you don't have good pitching and if your guys aren't healthy. That's a question mark for them right now. They haven't been playing well the last couple of weeks. And until they get their pitching straightened out, they might struggle.
Two men on here for Alex Bregman. Hamels misses with the ball. Bregman, who was a fantastic collegiate shortstop at LSU, became a third baseman when he joined the Astros. He had to shift back recently to shortstop when Correia went to the disabled list. It was not a real smooth transition. He is today in the lineup at third base. Billy Gurriel, who we saw last inning. Gurriel was a decorated third baseman in Cuba, but the Astros have used him at first base. That's where he's been the best fit for them. But with Correia down, they have shuffled things around here and there. And Bregman, despite the moves defensively, or the changes defensively, lately may be their hottest hitter on a 12-game hitting streak. Two and one. Hamels didn't like that.
Yeah, since he had to cover first base, it kind of lost his control of the strike zone.
Yeah, he's missed on 6 of 7 pitches since that moment. Well, a tough night for him in that regard. The 2-1 pitch, that is off the plate. Ball 3.
Yeah, you don't really want to load the bases right here and have Altuve be the guy coming up.
Pitch count starting to climb a little bit too on Hamels. Top of the 5th inning. 2 men aboard, but 2 out. Fouled off. It's a full count. And Bregman going to have to get a new bat. Hamels trying to shake off whatever it was that happened at first base. We don't know that he necessarily tweaked something, but he didn't look quite right going into the base. Walk Springer on 4 straight. Now it's worked the count back to full on Bregman. Fisher at second, Springer on at first. 3-2. Runners going, bouncer third base. Beltre will go to the bag, and I'm not real sure where Fisher was going, but he was looping around the back door.
He's trying to sneak in the back door.
Beltre caught him anyway, so the inning is done.
Yeah, Adrian fielded the ball. It's going to be a tough play at first because Bregman can run. Instead, he was not fooled by the backdoor entry to third base and makes the tag.
As we welcome you back to Globe Life Park and introduce you to what might be my favorite fan ever. This is Pauline White. She is 100 years old this month on the 22nd. And Pauline, you decided to celebrate your birthday out here in this horrible heat at the ballpark. Why?
Because I love the Rangers.
What is it that you love about baseball so much?
I don't know. Well, they're all so good. We see them grow up, and you know, we hate to see them when they leave.
I know you do. Well, you are a progressive fan of the game for so many reasons, Pauline, so I'm going to give you this.
Oh, wonderful.
Can we get a Go Rangers from you?
Yes. Go Rangers.
Guys, I can tell you, 100 years old, I'm never complaining about the heat out here ever again. She's amazing.
There you go. No doubt. She is. By the way, there's no chance she's 100 years old.
And I think she kind of nailed it when you talk about people that watch every game, watch every inning of every game. They like to see the young players start and watch them grow up and become better and better as the years go on. And when they're traded or they leave, it's disappointing to fans that watch every game.
No question. Elvis Andrus just a little disappointed in that check swing call, but he hammers this ball high in the air out to left field, carrying toward the bullpen, and that one is off the fence. Marisnick picks it up off the carom, but Andrus with a leadoff double in the 5th inning. He just missed getting it out of here.
Well, he talked about Charlie Morton's curveball and how he gets a lot of strikeouts with it. He's had a lot of strikeouts tonight. That's one that spins and doesn't curve, and if you get one like that and make solid contact, then you can have some success. Elvis almost had enough of it to get it out of the ballpark. Looked like it hit right at the bottom of the wall, 390 feet away. Well, that's taking advantage of a good pitch to hit. See how close Fisher came to it. Not quite. Wasn't able to get there.
So another good start to the inning. Anderson scoring position for Nomar Mazara. He drove in a run in the 3rd. Mazara with a team best 70 RBIs this year. And he loops this one out towards center. Marisnick in position, though, makes the catch. Andrews tags. He's trying for 3rd, and he is in there.
Yeah, Marisnick has a good arm, and Elvis challenged him. And it just shows that in order to throw out a good base runner, even when you have a chance, you still have to make a perfect throw. And it's not always that easy to do. Marisnick's throw is off just enough for Elvis to get in there. Nomar hit that ball hard. Marisnick wasn't able to come in on it. Had to wait back, throws a little bit off target. Elvis is safe. If that ball is right on the bag, then he might have had a chance to get him.
Now the infield is in with 1 out. And Andrews just 90 feet away. Beltre up there 1 for 2. Good crisp fastball in there for strike 1. Beltre last inning struck out with the bases loaded. Had the base hit in the 2nd inning to open the inning. Won the count. Beltre 20 years in the big leagues. 7 with the Rangers. That's his ball sharply over 3rd. That's a base hit and into the left corner. Andrews scores easily. Beltre into 2nd base. He has a stand-up double. And for Adrian Beltre, Paul Molitor had been in his sights. And that double right there, an historic one for him, is 15th of the year, but it moves him past Paul Molitor, or to a tie with Paul Molitor.
Well, the Rangers are picking up some runs as opposed to the last game against the Mets where they left so many men on base. And a man in scoring position right there. Adrian picked him up, just like Carlos Gomez picked up a couple back in the 3rd.
Beltre past Paul Molitor and now tied with Paul Wainer, 13th all-time. 606 career doubles. 5-0 lead, and of course he's in scoring position. Gallo takes a strike. Looked like it might have been a little wide there to Gallo, who's 0 for 2.
Tough one for even Joey to reach.
Four runs in the third, another run here in the fifth for the Rangers. 5 runs on 7 hits so far. Beltre, a modest lead as he walks off second. Bouncer and a high hop for Correia will feed Morton 2 away. Beltre now down at third base. Well, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson.
Carlos Gomez.
All right, thanks, Dana. Cleveland, of course, leading their division right now. They have a 3.5 game lead on the Twins in the Central. There's Tampa Bay tied for the second wild card at the moment. As Gomez takes a ball from Charlie Morton. In your Central Division standings.
Yeah, Minnesota jumped ahead of Kansas City. Minnesota has won 5 in a row coming into the games today. Kansas City's lost 4 in a row. Kind of turned those teams around. Probably going to see that happen frequently the last 6 weeks of the season as teams jockey for position.
It's been nuts lately because we bumped into these teams where everybody around the organization, oh no, this season's done.
Yeah.
Orioles, yeah, we're cooked.
Yeah. Poor Minnesota's riding a roller coaster. They can't figure out what they are.
Beltre with a real nice play down at third base on that foul ball by Gomez.
Minnesota acquired Jaime Garcia for a pennant run. Then they lost 3 or 4 games and they traded him because they thought they were out of it. Now they've won 5 in a row and they're back in it. I want the Yankees to give them back to him right now. And they're winning tonight against the Tigers.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Gomez.
That would be 6 in a row if they win tonight. When that streak started, they were 4 games under. Didn't look like much was going to happen for them. It just goes to show you the way we've been talking about the Rangers. It's bunched up so much, but you still have to go out and have that good week where you win 5 in a row, 6 out of 7. If you do, you get right back in it.
On grounder right side, Altuve with a bobble, throws over to first just in time to get Gomez in the inning. So the Rangers will settle for the run. They leave a man at third, and we're through 5 tonight. Rangers baseball is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer now during the Ford Summer Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. 5 innings down, 5-0 Rangers. Cole Hamels have to do a little more work. Jose Altuve will lead things off for Houston. Altuve, Gurriel, and Gonzalez. Altuve had the hit that went off of Hamels. As this one into short left field. Gallo is there, one away.
First baseman, Gurriel.
Here comes Gurriel.
Yeah, good start to the inning. One pitch, you get the best hitter. Altuve is the best hitter by quite a margin, too. 365. Correia, who hasn't played in a long time, is second in the league still, has enough plate appearances. He's hitting 320. There's the numbers. A 45-point lead. I'd say the batting championship is pretty safe, considering Altuve, one of those guys that very unlikely for him to go into a slump.
Next pitch, and Gurriel hits it off his hands to second base. And so 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
That's exactly what Cole was looking for. He had to throw a few extra pitches in the 5th inning to battle out of that jam. He's on the verge of a pretty quick inning right here.
All right, so as a hitter, Tom, if you're Marwin Gonzalez, is it basically understood you can't swing at that first pitch?
Yeah, it is. They say you're not supposed to swing at that pitch because you don't want the pitcher to get 3 outs with 3 pitches. But, you know, in reality, if you take that pitch and swing at the next one and he gets 3 outs and 4 pitches, what is the difference? Because in reality, right now, the pitcher's thinking, okay, he's not going to swing at this pitch. So if he throws it right down the middle, you ought to jump all over it. There, he did. Good. That's one of those, I guess you'd call it an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
That I'm glad to see. Everybody doesn't think it's that important to do that. If I were a manager, I would tell the hitters, look, I know you've heard if the first 2 outs come on 2 pitches, you're not supposed to swing at the next pitch. If you do that, that's fine, but you have my permission to swing at it. I will not hold you accountable for that unwritten rule.
Well, the 1-strike offering now to Gonzalez. Swings at that one as well. It's 0-2.
So he wants to make sure that every pitch is swung at this at bat, this inning. I don't want to see any pitch get by. He must have hit Bill Wilkie.
I definitely got a piece of it.
The rest of his umpire crew are coming in to make sure he's okay. Oh, that's a square shot. Wow. He's a big guy, but a smaller guy might have gotten knocked right down on that ball. He's smiling, but that stunned him for sure.
I've seen a lot of these today where guys have been very close to injury, but have laughed them off. Well, he's been around a little while, 17.5 years of service time. Crew chief for this bunch. You're not going to let that one slow him down.
Robinson's checking on him. He knows what that feels like. He's had concerns over the years with balls slamming into his face mask as well.
Two out here, and if nothing else, about a little more time. Hamels got the first 2 outs on 2 pitches. The 0-2 to Gonzalez. He is swinging again. Lifts it out to left field. And Gallo alters his direction a little bit there. Makes the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning. 5 pitches for Cole Hamels. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Slam Inning brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot today, $200 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Rangers are hitting from Maryland Woodard of Greenville. So if a Ranger hits a home run this inning, Maryland wins $200. If a Ranger hits a grand slam, Maryland wins $25,000. Good luck, Maryland. Bottom of the order, Odor, Napoli, and Robinson Chirinos. 5-0 Rangers lead. Opening game in our 3-game series with the Astros. And Odor sends this one out into left field. Fisher, plenty of time to get there, and puts it away.
The first baseman, Napoli.
Well, be one of the first 10,000 fans to the ballpark on Sunday, and you can take home this one-of-a-kind Rangers talking alarm clock, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Brookshire's. It tells you, wake up. It's baseball time in Texas. Chuck Morgan's voice. Tickets available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. There's Chuck. Now here's Napoli. 0 for 1 with a walk. One of the many things that Chuck Morgan does, he put together that 3,000 hit celebration for Adrian Beltre. He and a group of folks, and what a great job they did. You know, it happened so quickly. It was orchestrated beautifully. I mean, it was and all the elements in, but it didn't really disrupt the flow of the game too much.
Well, that's why he is a master at what he does. I think he's recognized around baseball as certainly one of the best.
3-0 to Napoli, who walked on 4 pitches in the third.
Larry Schmidl, who used to run minor league teams, lived in Nashville, brought Chuck here way back when. Back in the early 80s. Chuck was a disc jockey in Nashville. One of the best at that, too. Took 1 year off. He went to Kansas City for 1 year, got right back here. Rangers missed him. I think he missed the Rangers, and back he came. So with one year away, he's been here for a long time.
Foul ball by Napoli makes it a full count. Never misses a day of work either.
No, he doesn't.
I'll tell you.
And he does a lot more for the Rangers than just provide the voice at the ballpark. Been a major force in the sales and promotion of the Rangers over the years. A lot of the innovations that you see around the ballpark were Chuck's ideas.
Well, there's ball 4 to Mike Napoli.
The catcher, Robinson Chirinos.
The thing that's always amazed me about Chuck is when you go down to chat with him during a game, which isn't that frequently, but when you do, I don't know how he does all the things he does at the same time. He's got to announce the hitter, obviously, play the music, plan the promotions, and he does it almost effortlessly. Doesn't look like he's going to have to sit there and get nervous about it.
Now Robinson Chirinos hits this one a mile on the left field line, but foul. And strike 1. Well, he's done it like 3,000 times.
Yeah, probably is pretty routine to him.
Yeah. Of course, all this stuff we're talking about, all this baseball stuff, you know, he's been around forever now. It's such a part of Rangers baseball history. To me, it's all a footnote to his career on Hee-Haw. Anybody who's on Hee-Haw, now that's got to be the lead line, right?
Sure.
In the cornfield. 1-1 to Chirinos.
People always ask, what are the biggest changes in baseball over the years? One of the biggest changes is the players get to select their walk-up music, and they send it up to Chuck. And sometimes it varies from series to series. Sometimes a guy, I guess, will stay with it longer than others, but that's something that you didn't used to do. Send up the walk-up music to the public address announcer.
Chirinos with a Medium deep fly ball now to the top of the order for Chu. So Charlie Morton, boy, he had that rugged third inning, and here comes A.J. Hinch at 100 pitches. Very well. Looks like it will be all. Indeed, it is. So Morton is done. 2 out in the 6th inning and a runner on base. And Godin coming on for the Astros. Lead a Saturday. Aaron Judge going to try to continue his incredible rookie season. The Yankees against the Red Sox and Mookie's Bats. Major League Baseball Saturday, 2:30 Central on Fox Sports 1. Well, those two teams in a great battle in the American League East, and they're playing each other 10 times in the next 24 days. All right, Ramin Goudouin is on here for the Astros. I butchered the pronunciation going into break.
I'm glad it was you that had to try it.
16th appearance for Goudouin.
He struggled a little bit, 11 2/3, giving up 18 hits. And giving up a home run, walked a few too many. Getting his feet wet, trying to earn a spot in the bullpen. Mentioned that the Astros have a lot of injuries in their bullpen. Michael Felice is hurt. Will Harris, their setup man, is hurt. Tony Sipp, a lefty out of the bullpen, is on the disabled list.
A little bit in, 1-1 on Shin-Soo Choo. Goudouin's pitch, and there is a swing and a miss. Strike 2.
And the first batter faced, not a huge sample, but when he has faced the first batter in his brief time with the Astros, that person has hit .357 against him this year.
Small lead at first, the 1-2 pitch, and there's a bouncer right side. Boy, they had that covered. Altuve to his right, and he throws out Chu to win the inning. And we will go to the 7th inning tonight, 5-0 Rangers. home camera. 5-0 the score. And our Quicken Loans, Rocket Arms. How about these guys? Chris Sale, he's always on that list. First player since 2001 with 15 games of at least 10 strikeouts. Corey Kluber, third player in history to strike out 8 or more batters in 13 consecutive games.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that that was the case with all the strikeout pitchers that have come along, but boy, those two guys are tough to hit this year. Great years they're having. Corey Kluber. Earlier in the season, remember when we tried to pick the pitchers with the best sliders?
Yeah.
Both of those guys were picked. And I think it was Mike Napoli that recommended, maybe to Emily, that he suggested Corey Kluber had one of the best sliders. And in that streak that he's in right now, watching a lot of the highlights, I'd have to put him at the top of the list. That thing just looks like it hits something and goes straight to the left. And when he's on, when he throws it where he wants to, it's almost an unhittable pitch.
Well, it's funny because we've talked so much about the home runs this year. You see what the Astros have done, the 3 hits, Altuve, Gonzalez, Fisher. But we spent so much time focused on the home runs, and that's what we've seen so much here is, well, John strikes out swinging to start the 7th inning. But the strikeouts, that's the other major story this year in baseball. As much as we're seeing home runs blowing way past the rate of records in the past, strikeouts are doing the same.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a combination of the pitchers, nice curveball, have more velocity, better stuff, tougher to hit, and the hitters approach at the plate. For a lot of them, it's basically try to hit a home run no matter what the count is. You don't see hitters shorten up that much with 2 strikes. They don't have a 2-strike approach. They're not trying to make contact. They're trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So they're going to hit more home runs that way. And when pitchers make mistakes, they're going to take advantage of it. But they also play into the pitcher's hands a lot. Pitchers with good stuff against a guy who's trying to hit a home run, if they make good pitches, can get a lot of strikeouts. So that's probably what it's a combination of those 2 things. The hitters totally unconcerned about whether they strike out or not, willing to sacrifice strikeouts for power. There's no shame in striking out. The strikeout lists are incredibly high now. If you go back a ways, there was a little bit of a stigma attached to striking out, and most hitters tried not to with a 2-strike approach. You don't see that nowadays. That's kind of a change in the game. You don't see it with a lot of hitters, but some hitters still do that. Some guys are tough to strike out. But 100 strikeouts now. If you strike out 100 times and play every day, you're looking at a guy that makes pretty good contact. I should know this. I think I have known it at one time. How many guys in a league will strike out 100 times in a year now? Do you know off the top of your? Is it 40?
Oh, I'm sure it's at least that. There's 2 just missed. I mean, the Rangers, I think, have 4 guys in the lineup today who have already eclipsed 100 strikeouts.
Yeah.
4 in a lineup.
And I think if you go back to the, even to the mid-70s and take the top 10 strikeout people in the league, it gets down to around 100 when you get to 10. Now, and it might have gone up to 140, 130. Now you have to go up to almost 200. The top 10 in strikeouts, the one who's 10th is probably around 140, 150.
McCann with a lazy fly ball, 2 out here in the 7th inning. Yeah, I mean, it certainly, guys like Chris Sale, they have incredible strikeout stuff that would play in pretty much, any era of baseball. But they have certainly surfaced at the right time if the goal is to pick up strikeouts.
Yeah, to maximize their strikeouts.
Here's Jake Marisnick. Marisnick today has struck out and also bounced back to the mound. Hamels now nearing 100 pitches ahead of Marisnick. 0-2. He's had some real short innings tonight, but the 3rd and 4th innings maybe catching up just a little bit. 2-strike pitch. Marisnik lines it to short, right to Elvis Andrus, and the inning is done. Another 1, 2, 3 for Cole Hamels. They'll stand and stretch here tonight. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Chuck Morgan will take us into God Bless America.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise and direct your attention?
Lead the Astros 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's time for the AT&T high-speed replay. We'll go back and take a look at Elvis Andrus' game tonight. And a base hit up the middle to drive in a run. He led off the 5th. Didn't know why that second run didn't score. Led off the 5th. Got a hanging curveball doubled off the wall in left center field. That led off the 5th inning. He come around to score a run. So a couple of hits and RBI, and he scored a couple of runs tonight. Nice night for Elvis. Came into the game hitting .292. And has his average up to .294. A little comparison between Jose Altuve and Elvis. The only players with 15 or more home runs, 20 or more steals, and 25 or more doubles. Elvis with a career high 15 home runs, on his way to a career high doubles, and he's stolen 22 bases. Right there with Altuve in doubles, steals, and home runs.
Chopper foul, 2-1 the count to Elvis in this 7th inning. 5-0 Rangers. Yeah, those are pretty well-rounded games, those two guys.
Yeah, you put those numbers together and you see the kind of season that Elvis is having when you can compare him to Altuve, who's hitting .365 this year. But Elvis is tied for 4th in hits, tied for 7th with doubles. Has another one tonight. 22 stolen bases. That's 5th in the league.
Shoots this one out to right field. Springer was shallow, looks up, and that one bounces up against the fence. And Andrus heads to second with another one of those doubles.
Yeah, a game not too long ago where he had 3 doubles. And that's a ball and a swing that 5 years ago wouldn't have resulted in a ball going that far and just shooting over the outfielder's head. He had to reach for it, and it shows the strength that he's acquired over the years. Just didn't hit balls like that. Ball right to the base of the wall on a pitch out and away that he just reached for and flicked his wrists at. That's his 33rd double on the season.
On his 3rd hit tonight. A couple of doubles, a single. He has scored a run and a chance, or rather scored 2. Chance to score another here. Nomar Mazara. He's 1 for 3, and you can see just about everybody getting in the act so far, although Elvis leading the charge. Rangers 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. Gudwan finds the outside corner for strike 1. Mazara, 14 home runs. Not a crazy number, but he does lead this team with 70 RBIs now. And he hits this one out over shortstop, drops in, base hit, good start for Andrus. He'll head to the plate. He's in. RBI single for Nomar Mazara. 6-0 Rangers.
Elvis scores runs from second that a lot of guys end up on third on. They don't score on this kind of a ball. But Elvis has such good instincts on the bases. As soon as this ball's hit, he is very confident it's going to fall in. A lot of guys are going to take 2 steps, look back, stop, wait to see what happens, and end up at third base. Elvis never hesitated, got a great jump, and scored easily. That's the difference between someone with his base running instincts and most other players.
Well, on that base hit, knocks Gudwan out. James Hoyt coming on for the Astros when we return.
7th. Well, Adrian Beltre not satisfied with that win, and the last game over, the Mets said afterwards that they have got to get more run support for their pitching staff, and he also said that they had to do a better job with runners in scoring position, and really pointed the finger at himself, said he hadn't come through, that he had been terrible. Guys, they have been much better tonight as a team, 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and Adrian Beltre, thankfully, added to that as well.
Yeah, and I agree. I think these are becoming really big games, and for whatever reason, they continue to hang around right on the edge of this wild card mess in the American League, and they're catching this Astros team at a really good time. James Hoyt on a relief here, and he misses badly to Beltre. Beltre 2 for 3. Hoyt making his 35th appearance of the year.
Yeah, the unusual thing is the Rangers have 6 runs, 9 hits, and no home runs. Rangers have been a team that score somewhere around half their runs on home runs. But tonight, that hasn't been the case. It's been over 2 months since that's happened.
One. Fouled back by Beltre for strike 2. Adrian had the single in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, RBI double in the 5th. Hoyt, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Astros. Charlie Morton started when 5 2/3. Gudwan recorded just the 1 out. And this ball hit high in the air out to right field. Springer ranging toward the line, and he makes the catch for round number 1. All right, time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. It's going to be a fun series to keep an eye on. Take a look. It's a 4.5 game lead for Boston, but the Yankees have played much better in the division, and head-to-head, they have had Boston's number. And with 10 head-to-head games in the next 24 days, who knows? We might see the dynamics in the American League East change dramatically. Gallo with a big swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
Obviously a huge advantage to winning the division and having to play the wild card game. Whoever wins the wild card game probably has used their best starting pitchers, and they go into that first playoff at a disadvantage.
High fly ball out to right field again. Springer with plenty of time to get there, and there are 2 gone.
I guess there's some years where you can plan for that game because there's only a couple of teams in contention and you have time to set up your rotation. That doesn't look to be the case this year. 5, 6, 7 teams might come right down to the wire. Managers are going to be using every one of their starters to try to win that wild card spot. You're going to have someone pitch in that wild card game, and then whoever wins has to open the playoff series. So they'll go in maybe with a depleted staff, as opposed to the team that wins the division and can plan the last couple of weeks for that game, for that series.
Let's see Jose Leclerc preparing out of the Rangers bullpen. We may see him shortly in this one, as Cole Hamels' pitch count has climbed on him just a little bit. Hamels at 98 pitches through his 7 innings. Check swing, and did he go? Yes, he did. 0-2 on Gomez. Yeah, that, the new arrangement with a wild card, the 2 wild cards playing head to head, such a great way to put them at a little bit of a disadvantage. Right? Reward the division winners. I think that makes a lot of sense. The only thing I don't like is sometimes the lengthy wait for a division winning team. This one inside. You know what I mean? It just,
yeah, it appears over the
year.
years that has affected some of the teams that won.
Gomez 1 for 3 so far tonight. Had the 2-run single in the 3rd inning, and that was a really big hit in this game. Reaches out, rolls it slowly to the left side. Picked up by Bregman. His throw is late, and Gomez is safe. That'll be an infield hit for Carlos Gomez.
Bregman knew he was going to have a tough play no matter where he went. He thought about first, he thought about second. By the time he threw it, it was too late. Carlos busted it out of the box, was flying down the first baseline. The only chance Bregman had was to pick it up and throw it as quickly as he could, and he might have been able to nip him at first base. I don't know if he couldn't get the ball out of his glove. That's what it was. I think he was going to flip it to second base, but never could get a good grip on the ball.
So a break for Gomez and the Rangers, and Carlos says, yeah, I'll take it. So now here is Odor, 0 for 3. And he hits this ball hard, but up the middle and caught by Marwin Gonzalez. So the inning is done. Rangers will get a run, but they leave 2. We go to the 8th inning tonight. 6-0 Rangers. And tonight's Papa John's and AT&T 7 days of 7. These are fun, reflecting on the career of the great Ivan Rodriguez. How about this one? April 13th in Seattle. First inning, 3-run shot. Second inning, a 2-run single. Third inning, it's a grand slam. He had 9 RBIs by the 3rd inning. Unbelievable. First career grand slam in that one, and a 9 RBI game.
That's a hard one to compute in your mind. 3 innings, 9 RBIs. Wow.
You see the future reveal tomorrow, and we will officially retire the number 7. A very fun day out here at the ballpark tomorrow. All right, Jose Leclerc indeed is on here in the 8th inning.
Numbers for Jose, and pretty good numbers they are. 50 strikeouts. Jose has only pitched in 34 innings. He has been a strikeout pitcher who is also tough to hit. Opponent's batting average 158. And he does it with a mid-90s fastball. That one at 96. And an unusual changeup that curves like a slider.
One strike pitch on the way. Big swing and a miss. Boy, that fastball, some good zip on it. 96 miles per hour. Let's see what Fisher has done tonight. Batting 9th. Astros tonight have been shut out on just 3 hits. This is not an easy team to shut out. The Astros were shut out a total of 2 times in the first 100 games they played this year. Now, lately, with all the injuries to their lineup, they have been shut out twice in the last 14 games. They're just trying to make it 3-15 tonight. 1-2 to Fisher, and it bounces up there. Even the count. Conversation back there behind home plate between Welke and Chirinos. Fisher apparently getting some words in there as well. Now the Clerks 2-2. Missed. 97 that time, and it's full count. Cole Hamels today, 7 really good innings. 3 hits, no runs, a couple of walks, 5 strikeouts for him. Well, the bullpen from here, the 3-2 pitch, and that one is low ball 4. So Fisher works the walk. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run and their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Learn more about how you can get involved this fall by visiting foxsportsupports.com. So after the walk, here is George Springer. Springer walked his last time in, 0 for 2 today. Swings and misses. That's strike 1, and he is willing and interested in taking big swings.
Yeah, Springer's putting together a great year, making solid contact, hitting for a high average, and from the leadoff spot in the order, doing some damage power-wise. 22 doubles and 27 home runs.
That's this ball in the air out to right field, and that one carrying well to the bullpen. It is gone.
Number 28.
The 8th home run of the year indeed. Astros will not be shut out tonight. It's a 6-2 ball game.
Mentioned that Springer has spent a couple of weeks on the disabled list recently. Just came off the disabled list. High fastball at 96 miles an hour. Jose airing it out, and so did Springer.
So 2-run homer, and here's Alex Bregman. Clark, the leadoff walk was a bit of a concern. That is when things have gone south on him. When he puts somebody on for free to start an inning, and that is at times been a part of his issues. This one fouled off, the count 0-2. Bullpen, though, had been really good lately. In fact, look at that earned run average for August. It's going to go up a little now, but that's an impressive month of August so far at 171. I feel like we've seen a little more stability out there, Tom, in the last month and a half or so.
Yeah, and it would kind of go back to spring training when it looked like that would be something the Rangers could rely on. A very solid bullpen. That really contributed to a slow start in April. Games that normally would be won, certainly could have been won, were games that the Rangers weren't able to close out, and that happened a lot early in the season.
Yeah, I think if you were to retell the Rangers story of 2017, let's say in 3 sentences, the bullpen would take up at least 2 sentences of that. I mean, that's been the story.
Yeah.
2-2. Well, Bregman hitless so far tonight. Yeah, Alex Claudio getting ready in a hurry.
Yeah, when in doubt, that's the guy that Jeff Bannister gets up. So reliable. This is a game the Rangers had a big lead. It's only a 4-run lead now. 3-1 count, nobody out. And in that situation, I think Jeff Bannister calls for Alex Claudio many times, most of the time.
Now, that job is not an easy one for a manager, but bullpen fails you on more than one occasion, man. It makes it really tough. Three-two pitch, and that is high, ball 4. So walk, homer, walk, and Benny probably not going to stay on that bench too long. Doug Brocale, pitching coach, out there to have a quick word.
Second baseman Jose Altuve.
I think when you look at Jose's line for the season, you see a lot of positives, no doubt about it. We talked about the fact that he'd thrown 34 innings, only given up 19 hits. That's a 158 average, and he'd struck out 50 in 34 innings. The one negative has been the bases on balls. That's now 24 walks in 34 innings. A lot of positives, a lot of things to build on, and one of the areas for improvement would be his control. And in order to be a closer and really to be a reliable late inning guy, control can't be a problem, because generally you come into games, if you're one of the key guys back there, you're coming into games that are close where your team has a lead, and the walks can really hurt you, and we've seen that already here in the 8th inning.
Well, man on, and Jose Altuve takes ball 1. That one off the plate. Just having a tough time right now finding that strike zone. Man, this is not a guy you can mess around with.
No, he's thrown 16 pitches. 10 of them have been balls. And the first couple of pitches to Derek Fisher, who led off the inning, were strikes. Since that time, since he got ahead of Fisher, he just has had a hard time finding the strike zone.
Toss over to first base. So a 6-2 game, and Banny continuing to get updates from the bullpen. I'm sure Claudio will be ready when needed at this point. Altuve with an infield hit, 1 for 3. Ball 3. Now, we were in Cleveland earlier this summer, underneath the ballpark down there in the corridors between the clubhouses and stuff. They've got big quotes painted up on the wall, and recognize some of the famous former players in Cleveland history. And there was a big Bob Lemon quote up on the wall: 2 most important things in life, good friends and a strong bullpen.
And he became a big league manager, so he can definitely speak from experience on that topic.
There's a strike, 3-1. A Hall of Fame pitcher and a manager, and he's not the first to make that observation, right? That a bullpen is important as anything for a manager.
I think that's even true more now today than it was back then. Back then, the starter generally went 9. You didn't need a bullpen. Nowadays, the bullpen is vital.
Hard ground ball, second base. Odor backing up, goes to second one. Under first for the double play. Now that'll help. A 4-6-3 twin killing, and what a dandy that was by Odor.
Looked like he was on the way to another walk. He battled back, and Altuve hit that ball solidly. He barreled it, but right straight to Rubnett, who turned it. That'll let Jeff Bannister take a deep breath. Certainly feels good for Jose Leclerc to see that ball turned behind him. He can get out of this inning with only 2 runs. Be happy.
Yes, indeed. Here is Gurriel, and Leclerc just can't seem to guide that changeup right now. Gurriel 0 for 3. 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Rangers. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for the Astros. Bases are empty now, though. Up and in. 2-0 on Gurriel. Don't dig in. 2-0. That is high. And here comes Chirinos. And you can see the look on Leclerc's face. I mean, he just can't find it right now.
It's just one of those nights. As hard as he's trying to throw a strike, it's just more and more difficult with every pitch. 14 out of 22 pitches have been balls.
And 1. Gurriel, we talked about it earlier. 33-year-old rookie now. Celebrated his 33rd birthday a couple months ago. Up high, ball 4. So he is on, and that is the 3rd walk of the inning. And Jeff Bannister indeed will signal to the bullpen. And that is it for Jose Leclerc. Alex Claudio coming on in the 8th.
As we welcome you back to to Globe Life Park here in the 8th inning. Well, I talked to Jeff Bannister the other day about Claudio's transformation. That's what he called it. Said ever since he's been called up, he was used to going in longer mode as a pitcher. He said now he's become more of a strike thrower. It's his deception, he said, that's allowed to have him more success. And this is the biggest area. Of course, as a left-handed pitcher, he's had success against left-handed batters, but now he's having more against right-handed batters. He also said this about Claudio, that he loves the challenge and he has the same demeanor during the game. Obviously, guys, we've seen Claudio grow this season as well.
It has been some kind of season for Alex Claudio. See his offerings. Doesn't matter the role. He's asked him to start, asked him to close, maybe throwing long relief. The answer every time is okie doke. He just takes it and goes. And he has been great. Inherits a base runner here, and we'll deal with Marwin Gonzalez.
Tough guy to look for the first pitch and hit it. If you're looking for a fastball, that's what's going to happen right there. Gonzalez is hoping to get a first pitch fastball and make it a 2-run game. But I think Alex is thinking right along with him, and he dropped that changeup in there instead of a fastball. Sooner or later, a hitter's going to get hurt trying to hit that changeup.
On a 1-strike pitch. Marwin Gonzalez 1 for 3 tonight. See the season numbers, really impressive for Gonzalez. 2 runs are in this 8th inning. Rangers lead cut to 4. But there are 2 away. 2-1. Claudio has been so good. 50 relief appearances this year. His earned run average as a reliever 2.06. It's the 10th best relief earned run average in the American League. He's got Gurriel over at first. No real threat to go anywhere. Gonzalez, a switch hitter at the right side. And pitch to him. A bouncer slowly, third base, but that one off of Gonzalez's foot. Foul ball, and it makes it 2-2. This might take a moment to walk it off. And Jeff Bannister, Kevin Harmon coming out to take a look at Robinson Chirinos. My goodness. One of those nights, a little hazard pay for everybody around home plate.
Dangerous for a lot of players, and it's also been dangerous for the home plate umpire. Bill Welke's been hit a couple of times. And the bat came around and hit Robinson. And see Gonzalez going all the way around, and boom, right on top of the head, he gets Robinson.
Oh. Not like that. And Chirinos, who's had some trouble in the past, concussions, injuries. That is not fun. So Gurriel still at first base, 2 out here. It has been a lengthy bottom of the 8th inning. Continues. Alex Claudio normally uses such an efficiency of pitches. He's going to have to deal his 5th already to Marwin Gonzalez. And this one out into right field. And that's a base hit. Gurriel turns second, goes to third. Mazzara lost it. They're going to go ahead and send Gurriel. Here comes the throw, 1 hop, and the tag not in time.
It didn't look like there'd be any chance for a play at the plate after the ball got by Mazzara in right field. But Rubned got rid of it quickly and threw a 1-hop strike right on home plate to Robinson Chirinos. Actually made it a pretty close play. 2 more hits for Gonzalez. Continues to swing the bat and do good things for the Astros. Top 5 in hitting as far as average goes. And he picks up another run batted in right here. He leads the Astros now with 68 runs batted in.
A 6-3 ball game, and boy, does Marwin Gonzalez now represent a big run. Carlos Beltran 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. A liner out into right field, but foul. Strike 1 on Beltran. The former Ranger sitting on 434 career home runs. Does most of his power damage this year from the other side of the plate, though. And he lines this one over first. That's a base hit. Out into the right field corner. Gonzalez comes home. Beltran into second base with an RBI double. 4 runs have scored in this 8th inning. And just like that, it's a 2-run game. The tying run comes to the plate.
Well, the one thing you say in this kind of a ball game is the last thing you want to do is have walks. Make them hit. And unfortunately, there were 3 walks, which set up the inning because now they've started to hit. A double by Gonzalez, a double by Beltran. Both of them hit toward the right field line. Both of them picking up a run.
All right, 4 runs in the inning, and now Brian McCann. Bocale trotting out to the mound, and he's going to have a word now with Alex Claudio. Unusual to see Claudio have any kind of trouble. I mean, lately we're so used to him being automatic. Matt Bush begins to warm in the Rangers pen. Bocale getting some mileage this inning, back and forth to the mound.
There have been so many good things happening in this game. The Rangers have scored 6 runs on 10 hits. A lot of timely hitting without the benefit of a home run. Cole Hamels had 7 shutout innings, only gave up 3 hits. And so you hope that the Ranger bullpen can stop the damage here in the 8th inning, close it out in the 9th, and get a win. Be a shame to let this one get away.
You see the look on Leclerc's face. I'm just unhappy with the way this one played out tonight. Now it's Claudio down to McCann, and that one is a strike. Leclerc's line now is done. 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs on 1 hit, 3 walks. Man at second, 2 away. Nearly able to catch Beltran out there at second base.
That was one of those scary ones as a base runner. You don't even know it's happening till the ball's halfway there, and you sense the fielder coming in behind you. Beltran certainly not expecting this. Takes his lead, puts his head down. Elvis saw it coming. Beltran didn't, though. But once he sees Elvis, he senses something's on and scampers back and gets in there safely.
1-1 to McCann. He's fouled away. I saw a little smile on his face afterward too, but it's going to be a scary feeling. A good crowd tonight, 33,897 on a Friday night. Trying to get Claudio through this 8th inning. 1-2 pitch. And bouncer foul. Opening game in this series. Now, in the season series, A Lone Star series. The Astros have taken 7 of the first 10. 1-2. Not getting those close calls in the late innings from Bill Welke. Timeout. This has been a series that the Rangers have pretty much owned in recent years, but not this year. It's been a dramatic turnaround for the Astros. Two-two. Check swing. Did it go? No. And it is a full count. Already 3 walks in the inning. Payoff from Claudio. And McCann keeps it going.
The Astros have had some tough at-bats this inning. A lot of guys just hanging in there. Fisher worked a walk to start it off. Guys fouling balls off, battling in there. They're not giving in an inch. Ranger pitchers are having to battle for every strike they can get.
8th pitch of this at bat to McCann. He fouls it off.
Just barely got a piece of that. Fouled it off back into his back foot.
A pretty big pitch right here. It'll be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. It'll be the 40th pitch of the inning between Leclerc and Claudio. And here it comes. Another foul ball. So used to that changeup being kind of a wipeout pitch for Claudio, even against left-handed hitters like McCann. 3-2. And this ball hit well out toward right field, but Mazara coming on, and he made the catch. Just got that right before it hit the turf, and the inning is over. Wow, that was close. 4 runs for the Astros in the 8th. But it could have been worse.
It didn't look like he was going to be able to get to it, and he just barely did. Took it right off the ground to save that inning. Nice play.
Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. At bottom of the 8th inning now in a 6-4 game. Texas Rangers suite rental. Perfect way to retain your clients, family, and friends this season. All regular season nightly suite rental packages include parking and a food and beverage package. Go to TexasRangers.com/suites or call 972-RANGERS for more details on how to reserve a suite. All right, bottom of the 8th. And Joe Musgrove on out of the bullpen.
Yeah, the Rangers saw Musgrove earlier in the season when he was in the rotation. He's transitioned into the bullpen for the season. Musgrove has been in 21 games. 15 of them have been starts. He's shown some promise as a starting pitcher, maybe not as consistent as he would like to be, but nevertheless some talent that indicates he can do that job. Right now his role is to come in and pitch in relief whenever the Astros ask him to, and in this it's a 2-run game, trying to keep it a 2-run game for the Astros. Rangers trying to tack on some insurance. Saw what the Astros were capable of in the top of the 8th inning. Trying to make that 9th inning a little bit easier.
Well, Napoli's given a couple of good at-bats today. He's walked twice, lined out. Breaking ball from Musgrove, taken for a strike. It's 0-2. Napoli has faced Musgrove twice. Doesn't a hit off of him. And fouls this one straight back. It stays 0-2. Run and missed. Napoli strikes out. We are underway. The bottom of the 8th inning. Well, our AT&T matchup tomorrow. Second game of this series. Springer and Beltre leading some really potent offenses. Now, get here early tomorrow. Whether that be on TV or in person. You don't want to miss it. Our coverage beginning at 6:30 tomorrow at Fox Sports Southwest. We're going to carry the Pudge Rodriguez number retirement ceremony. A very special day out here at the ballpark tomorrow night. So make sure you join us for that. Robinson Chirinos now takes one high for a ball. Chirinos 1 for 3 has scored a run. Joe Musgrove out of the bullpen and a breaking ball rolled to the hole. It's short. Long throw. Gonzalez, and it's in time. We get Chirinos. 2 gone.
I mentioned that Gonzalez has played 6 different positions this year for the Astros, and he shows that short is certainly one he can handle. And to be a shortstop, you have to be able to show you can make this play. Go in the hole, plant your foot, come over the top with something extra on the ball, and Gonzalez did that with that out.
So now to the top of the order, and Shin-Soo Choo. 6-4. Strike from Musgrove. Musgrove's last start was on July 15th. Made 15 starts before going to the bullpen. He has been scoreless in 5 of his 6 relief appearances so far. And he gets ahead of Choo here, 0-2. So this has worked out for Musgrove and for the Astros. A really nice arm for them to have out there. 12 strikeouts, 1 walk in his relief work, and ERA under 1 out of the bullpen. So it's 0-2 pitch.
I think he's showing better stuff as a reliever than he did as a starter. And maybe it's because he doesn't have to pace himself. He can just go after it with every pitch. That last one, 97 miles an hour with some pretty good sinking action on it.
Check swing by Choo. 2-2 the count. Musgrove, a big fella. 6'5", nearly 270 pounds. Just 24 years old, and he has a powerful right arm. We're seeing it on full display here out of the bullpen. 2-2 pitch. At 97, fouled away. Got the first 2 outs pretty quickly. 2 will make a guy work, and he's doing that right here, keeping the count at 2-2. Rangers opened the scoring today with 4 runs in the 3rd inning. Added a run in the 5th and another in the 7th inning, but they've done all their scoring today without the benefit of a home run. And that's a rarity for Jeff Bannister and this Rangers offense. Astros still climb back in it with 4 runs on the top of this 8. Foul ball. This one off of Chu, and it stays 2-2. Body language of Claudio there tells me he's going back out for the 9th.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody warming up down in the bullpen either, so I think that's a safe bet. But it just really underscores the confidence that Jeff Bannister has in Alex.
Strike 3 called. Chu down looking. And Musgrove picks up a couple of strikeouts. Claudio heading out. 9th inning coming. Rangers hold on to a 2-run lead.
The Rangers hoping for a smooth 9th to close out a 6-4 victory over the Houston Astros. Hi there, Dana Larson here reminding you we've got Rangers Live presented by Frontier coming up right after the game. Mike Bassick is here to tell you just how good Cole Hamels was once again tonight. We'll hear from Cole, also the manager Jeff Bannister. We'll talk about the big night for the meat of the Rangers batting order tonight. Offensively, the Rangers getting it done, and we'll look ahead to the big day for Pudge Rodriguez tomorrow. All that and so much more coming up in just a bit. Dave and Tom.
All right, thanks, Dana. And here we go now. 9th inning. Claudio trying to protect that 2-run lead. Jake Marisnick leading it off. Marisnick, Derek Fisher, and then back up top for George Springer. Missed by much. 1-1 the count to Marisnick, who tonight 0 for 3. Claudio came in in the 8th inning to get that final out, but he gave up a couple of doubles beforehand. Ahead of Marisnick here, 1-2.
Marisnick a little bit upset with himself. He waited on the changeup pretty well that time, but didn't take advantage of waiting. He missed it, fouled it off.
Changeup off the plate. 2-2 the count. There's Matt Bush. He was up earlier, up again. Swing and a strike 3. Marisnick strikes out to start the ninth, and that is a big out for Alex Claudio.
Just a great delivery, great deception. Made it look like it was going to be something that was faster than that changeup. Just floated it in there. Dropped down a little bit when it got to Marisnick. Marisnick had waited on the changeup once in that at bat, but wasn't able to wait on that one. And Alex got him with his signature pitch.
It'll be interesting to see if he can retire Derek Fisher. Nobody else has been able to do that. A couple of walks and an infield hit for him.
One thing we've seen from Fisher, we've only seen 3 at bats, is he very seldom swings at something out of the strike zone. He's worked a couple of walks. He hasn't been up a lot this year, but he's got pretty good walk numbers.
Takes a close pitch there. The count 1-1. Fisher was recalled from AAA Fresno on July 25th, his second go-round. And the 1-1 pitch. That one turned foul. 1-2 the count. Claudio to the plate, 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets Fisher. Back-to-back Ks in the ninth.
A good comeback for Alex. He gave up a couple of doubles in the 8th inning and a run. An unusual occurrence for him. Boy, to start the ninth, bottom of the order, he jumped out with 2 strikeouts from Marisnick and now Fisher. Another changeup. If they do time it, it still becomes a tough pitch to hit the way it sinks right there at the end. A little bit out in front of it and definitely over the top of it.
So 2 away, and here is Springer. And he swings at the first pitch. Wafts it into shallow center. Coming on is Gomez, and he can't get there. It drops in for a base hit. Well, Springer is on, and it gets the potential tying run to the plate.
Yeah, it was hit high, but unfortunately it was hit just about exactly where it had to be hit to fall in. Ruby couldn't get back far enough. And Carlos can't come in fast enough. It's one of those balls hit no man's land.
I hear you.
Yeah, Alex is not upset with the fielders. He's just upset with the circumstances that ball found a hole.
Pretty hard to sneak one in front of Carlos Gomez, but that is what Springer has done, and it brings up Alex Bregman. .6'4". Bregman walked his last time. Swings and pops this one up. First base side, but up into the stands. And this is the opening game of a long homestand for the Rangers. 2 more in this series, and Detroit in for 3. And the White Sox following for a long series. Tyson Ross tomorrow. Back into the rotation for the Rangers. Sunday, Andrew Cashner, the 1-strike pitch. This one hit well out toward left field, and that one's going to get down. Base hit. Gallo hustles it back in. Bregman with a 2-out single. And he brings up Jose Altuve.
Second baseman Jose Altuve.
And Jeff Bannister. His stomach got to be churning.
That's a tough decision. You got a great hitter coming up. Looks like Danny's going to go with a hard thrower.
Altuve looking on, waiting to find out. Manny offering instruction. So this is not a change. He's sticking with Claudio. So it'll be Claudio and Jose Altuve.
Yeah, generally, when Banny goes out, he makes a pitching change. This time, he just wanted to have a couple of words with Alex Claudio. He's going to stick with his lefty. Been so reliable for him. He's going to stick with him in a tough situation right here with Altuve coming up.
One of the things going through Banny's mind might be the fact that Altuve 2 for 3 with a home run against Alex Claudio. It's weird too, because normally when he goes out for those kinds of talks, it's on a little bit up-tempo pace out to the mound. That slow walk usually means a change.
That's what I thought.
So here it is. Claudio, who's been so good against everyone this year, except perhaps Jose Altuve, who is 1 for 4 tonight. League's leading hitter. 2 men out there, and the pitch on the way. Swing! And a miss.
Altuve was going for it right there. That's about as hard as he could swing. As Larry Parrish used to say, he wasn't trying to roll a single through the infield with that swing.
Goodness. Have to make Reggie Jackson blush. One strike pitch. And there's a little roller foul. So Claudio ahead 0-2.
And that's the last thing Alex is going to try to do right here is throw him a strike. As aggressive as Altuve is, I'll try to make him chase one here.
Chirinos asked for time. So Bregman at first base, Springer over there at second. And the tying runs. The league's leading hitter, 365 average coming in, Jose Altuve at the plate. One and two.
Good try. Make a sinker tail out of the strike zone. Hope you can get Altuve to chase it. Altuve makes such good contact. He can make contact on pitches like that. Not much you can do with him. It had to be just a little bit closer to make him swing that time.
Now these fans have seen this so many times this year. Hoping for a better result this time. Up 6-4 in the ninth. The 1-2. And that'll even it up. Claudio wobbled just a little bit in the 8th inning before getting the fly out of McCann. 2 strikeouts to open this inning, then a bloop single and a base hit by Bregman. 2-2. And it's a full count.
I was trying to get him to chase. He just hasn't gotten it close enough for Altuve to offer at it. They've been so far out of the strike zone, he hasn't been tempted. Gurriel is on deck, and it'll be interesting to see if Altuve gets on, if Banny will then go to the hard thrower. For now, though, it's Alex Claudio and Jose Altuve.
Unusually high pitch count for Claudio tonight. Runners will be going. The 3-2. Got him looking!
Drop the changeup in there. What a finish.
How about that? What a pitch from Alex Claudio. My goodness. And it's a 6-4 final.
And that's a case, that pitch, whether it was a strike or not, looked like it was to our eyes. It was in that rectangle. The reason Altuve didn't swing at it, I don't think, is because he thought it was a ball. He didn't swing at it because I think he was fooled by the pitch. Threw him a changeup and dropped it right on the inside corner. Although I think Jose would disagree with that call. Alex, on the other hand, quite pleased with that call.
It is crazy fun to watch when he's got that going.
I think he said Astros what it was. Boy, that was a game. Didn't look like it was going to be that close when it was 6-0, but the Astros battled back, and the Rangers had to use everything they had at the end of the game to close that one out. And an exciting finish.
What a finish to that one. 6-4 final score as we send it down to Leslie.
Well, guys, I'm going to interview Elvis as soon as he takes his shoes off. And okay, he's getting ready for getting wet. I know. Okay. So Elvis, 10 hits tonight, 6 runs. You had 3 of those. How big was this offense tonight, especially early on?
It was huge. I think that lately that's what we've been doing, and everything happened because the way Cole started the game for us, he set the tone for the team, and we're really lucky we can put some runs early.
What about the way that also Claudio battled there at the end?
He's been a horse out there in the bullpen. And hold on a second.
Guys, he almost didn't want to do my interview because he knew that this was coming for him. Okay, let's go back and talk about Claudio and how he was able to battle too, as well as Cole.
No, he's been our horse in the bullpen this year. That kid has a lot of heart. He's never scared for a challenge, and really happy that we got him in the bullpen.
This team has been in this situation throughout the season where it gets closer than you would have wanted to. What's the difference between the team that let some of those get away and the team that battled back tonight?
No, I think that shows how much heart we got, and like we always say, we're not gonna give up into the last hour, into the last game. So everybody's really happy. We know that we're close out there and we're getting closer. So I think everybody's feeling that energy, and I mean, right now you just play game by game.
Especially in a rivalry situation like this, though, and you guys are battling back right now to get in the postseason. How big is winning the first one of this series?
No, it's amazing, and believe me, we want to win. We want to win them all. So we know it's going to be a tough challenge. Those guys at Houston, they've been amazing this year. He has a lot of talent, but we know how we play them. We play really good ball against them, and hopefully we can play like we did tonight.
Guys, I don't know why he's complaining. As hot as it was out here tonight, I would love to have that doused on my head. Back to you.
Be careful what you say, Leslie. Be very careful.
It's dicey. Very dicey. All right, 6-4, the final score. It might be a developing situation. Dana Larson, Mike Bassick and company back to break down the Cole Hamels start. And of course, we'll be back here as well for the 4-run third inning. Tom Grieve and Leslie McCastle. I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Our coverage of Rangers baseball continues right after this.